whispers through the dark, lost in time and fading through the veil, trapped by feelings long gone by, forever reaching for the light that shines through the other side. Still a story to be told, there's still a song that's left unsung. So here I stand on hollow ground to reach beyond the energy field. I feel your energy coming through the waves. You're just a phase at a time until the stars align. I feel your energy. I feel you all the time. I feel your energy sending shivers down my spine.
Hey now, what's up everybody? Thursday coming at you here, Stratford, Connecticut. 4 days in a row now. 10:33 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. What a day, what a day. What a day on deck. We have lore stream style, that being said style, and then detractor beam style. Some say Thursday's the best day, and that would be why. Full day of content coming at you here. Business style announcements. That being said, is going to start at 2:30 Eastern Standard Time. That means 7:30 GMT, Green Mountain. And then Tractor Beam is going to be 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard, of course.
Thank you for re-upping
Big
your
ups,
membership. I
Doden. You are a
appreciate
legend. Thanks so much. And yeah, we're going to have some fun here. This is part 3 now. And I'm not going to tell you that we're going to finish today because we probably won't. But we're going to see how far we can get. How about that? You know what I mean? We're only on part 2. And there are 3, 4, there's 3 more parts after this one finishes. So if you're interested in any of the previous episodes, they're all down below in the description, and it's in a playlist now. So we're just going through this video, debunking the debunker. We are becoming the debunkees of the debarqué. You get the rest. You'll fill in the rest mentally later in the replay. Anyways, okay, so where are we in the storyline? We are now, John just dropped the bombshell that about how they were getting paid. Okay, so how they were getting paid. It started. It was going to be a percentage of the video's half, and he would not get any residuals. Okay, but then things changed. Okay, things changed. So Philip is now telling his side of that story of how much John got paid. Okay, that's where we are now in the story. Okay, almost finished with part 2. Let's go. We already finished Pay Me Tons. We already finished the initial pre-bunking. Blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? All right, here we go.
He can say all of this, and I can say all of this, but there's no evidence of any of it, right? It's all hearsay. All I can tell you is I'm corroborating what he's saying. Yes, it's true. There were no residuals. Why was there no residuals? Because there was no way to figure them out. There was no, oh, can I have someone take data from YouTube and crunch a spreadsheet and figure out this
Crunch a spreadsheet.
and this and actually pay him?
Crunch
what we
it,
had was
crunch
kind of an
it,
unspoken agreement.
Crunch it!
Okay. And the unspoken
Crunch!
agreement was that for the extra stuff, here's the thing on YouTube, how it works.
Yeah,
when
go
you
ahead.
first upload a video to YouTube, especially back then, maybe today it's a little different. Back then, you would upload a new video to YouTube. That video would get a ton of hot new ads on it. You make tons of money on the ads. As soon as that went away, the ads would stop running and you make almost nothing on the video. So if a video is not monetized, you make no money on it. So we would do a playthrough, a hot new co-op playthrough. The first few weeks, we'd make tons of money.
Yeah.
Right? After that, the next month, 2 months, almost nothing. Because the ads aren't running on it anymore. Those ads are now running on all your hottest new uploads. Okay? Always. Why do you
That's not true, though, because old videos still have ads, right? But okay, yep.
think I pump out so much content? Right now, if I were to not make any new content this month, I would make almost nothing on ads on YouTube. That's how it's always worked. Okay?
That's not true, though. He has over 500,000, views a month still to this day, or under 500,000, based on residual views. And the old videos do make less, but they still make something. So when you release hundreds and hundreds of them, like they did with John Rambo, that does add up to much more than what he was paying John Rambo.
Don't care what anyone else wants to tell you. In my experience, that's always been the case. So we have a situation here where I would have loved to pay him residuals, but we didn't know how to figure it out without an insane amount of number crunching and work for what essentially was going to amount to very little. All right? So the unspoken rule, I mean, it wasn't that we put it down on writing, but we talked about it, is, all right.
The unspoken rule that we didn't put it down on writing.
The unspoken rule, I mean, it wasn't that we put it down on writing, but we talked about it.
Go ahead.
All right, well, there's going to be situations where we're going to go on trips, right? I'm going to arrange for...
This is right where we finished last week, so I wanted to play it again.
For us to go to a convention. I'm going to arrange for us to go on a trip that I'm going to vlog or whatever. And the arrangement was that even though he wasn't getting paid any residuals for the content, I would try to pay for as much of that as possible, whether it was a hotel room, whether it was gas for his car because he was driving, but I would pay for the gas, whether it was plane tickets in some cases. That was kind of the rule that we had. I was the one making the money here, right? I would pay him 50% of the co-op income, and anything else that came of it would be in another form, maybe intangible form, but you'd be able to go on trips and stuff. Like that's how what the
intangible form, like plane tickets. The famous intangible form known as hotel rooms and plane tickets. Those are very intangible.
It was, okay? He never complained. He never had a problem with it whatsoever. And this started essentially in early 2011 when I was partnered with Machinima.
Okay, yeah.
I can't tell you the exact date, but I believe it was about mid to late 2013 when this changed. And he's going to reveal how it changed.
Yeah, here we go.
All right, right now. So let's continue.
All right, that's where we stopped last week, right in the middle of that speech here. Here we go, all new now.
Again, it's not exactly 50% if you throw that out there, but this goes on for a little while. Then he says to me, Machinima isn't sending me reports anymore, so I have no idea. The amount of money that we're making on the co-op. I have no way of figuring it out. So I can no longer figure out this percentage that we agreed on. So I basically just go, okay, listen.
Jesus.
Throw me $100.
What's the sound going on here? I think that's John Rambo's video, though, but then it's echoing through the neck phones, and we're getting double sound.
Every time I come down.
Wait, what?
Throw me $100 every time I come down.
I'm gonna let him talk.
Okay.
Say the whole thing.
Oh,
And the
yeah.
way I come to this number is because round trip, it's about 2.5 hours of driving.
Jesus.
Right. I'm there the entire day, and I have to buy a meal at some point. So give me $100 to kind of cover my expense. You also have to consider, these are days like I'm not going to work because my job, and I'm an independent contractor.
Yeah.
So I'm not going to work these days. So if you really do the math, with gas and food and wear and tear in your car, $100 every time you come, you're not exactly profiting there. and including not going to working at a job which will actually make you more money than this,
Well, that's fair. That's fair. But if Rambo offered that, right, then it's kind of Rambo offered it, right? But let's keep going.
Yep.
So just to flat out say he got 50%, it's far from true.
Yes.
It's far from the truth there. Like I guess it's half truth. It's a half truth. Is that what you would say?
Nugget
Yeah,
of
it's
truth
a half
you're looking
truth.
for.
So when people want to throw other stuff out there, man, like you went to conventions and we paid for things. Mm-hmm. Again, like you go to conventions, you got to take time from work. Which is I'm not getting paid for work. And we went to conventions. He's got an injury. He says a back injury.
I like how he's kind of not taking that injury very seriously, right? He's got an injury, by the way. Yeah, wait till you hear this. An injury.
We went to conventions. He's got an injury. He says a back
He's got an injury,
injury. So I would go and I would carry things. I would film things. I did all the driving, as you know, and do whatever I could to help.
Yeah. You can hear the quotation marks.
I was coming as it's not just like, hey Phil, take me on this trip, and I'll fuck around and I'll sit by the pool. It was
it was a work
came as
trip.
basically to assist him in his business, as he likes to call it.
Yes.
Right.
A lot of passive aggressive stuff, and all that stuff he just said. A lot of passive aggressive stuff.
He's
the business, as he likes to call it.
Yeah, that's not passive aggressive. He's just saying his thoughts on the matter. That's not passive aggressive.
He has a back injury, or so he says. His back, right?
I'm not sure he said those exact words. Let's go back. I think it's worth it. I'm gonna get John's exact words here.
I was coming as
Okay, hold
take
on.
time from work.
Yeah.
We went to conventions. He's got
Here we
an
go.
injury.
I want to hear this. He's got an injury.
He says a back injury.
He says a back injury. That's it.
We went to conventions. He's got an injury.
An injury.
He says a back injury.
He says a back injury. That's what he says. Big ups, Fictitious. You're a legend, sir. Thank you so much. Let's see. Hope you get a good pull. Let me fudge the numbers here. Good pull for Fictitious. Go. Why is that not going off? Piss me the fuck off. Why is that not going off? Huh? Why is that not going off? See, this is why we get simplify, guys. Gotta simplify. Gotta simplify. Why did that not go off? Pissing me the fuck off. Oh, there it is. Okay, just an hour late. Okay, big ups. There goes Fictitious. Hope we get a good pull here. Come on. Come on. There we go. A mother's love. You do need a mother's love, and that costs as much as an Italian rum cake, by the way. From blue whatever. But you're a legend, Fictitious. Let's go.
So I would go and I would carry things. I would film things. I did all the driving, as you know.
Okay, we already heard this. So Philip said he says it's a...
He likes to call
Rambo's exact words were, he says it's a back injury. Got it?
A lot of passive aggressive stuff. The business, as he likes to call it. He has a back injury, or so he says. His back.
What's wrong with that?
Yeah. Everything there. Everything.
He says it's a back injury is exactly what John Rambo said. He says it's a back injury. Come on.
I ever said was true. I had a back injury. It was severe.
Yeah, and John said you said it's a back injury.
The thing is, I'm very, very good at hiding pain.
Oh,
right?
Yes! I'm very good at hiding pain. I have a very high pain tolerance.
The thing is, I'm very, very good at hiding pain. Right? You guys...
I can hide pain at a professional level.
couldn't tell in my videos back then. Half the time when I was sitting around making a vlog, I was in shooting pain on my leg, numbness. It was bad.
Yeah.
All right. I had a business. I was paying taxes. I was doing everything like you have to do with a business.
Well, let's not go too far down this road. I don't think that's ended up being true about the paying taxes part. But yeah, go ahead.
All these insinuations, right? Oh yeah, what he calls a business. That back injury he has and stuff. That's basically what he's saying by saying that stuff like that. Okay.
John Rambo said he has a back injury. He says it's a back injury. He has an injury. He says it's a back injury. Guilty Pleasure Cinema says it perfectly. He thinks the obvious stuff is passive-aggressive, and he can't see any subtlety at all, right? Which, you know. Shades are Gucci in the house. Is from this and all the other work lore vids you did, can't give DSP an ounce of praise for anything without him thinking you're giving him a Medal of Honor. Exactly. You have to... you have to make it the biggest deal of all time, right? You can't give DSP an ounce of praise for anything with him thinking you're giving him a Medal of Honor. Bingo. Big up Shadows of Gucci. That is correct. Big up Some Gator. John doesn't understand. Phil is the Tom Cruise of the operation. He should be honored for driving the entertainment around doing all the lifting. And he honestly, legitimately thinks that is the case. Honestly and legitimately thinks he is the talent, right? And John is lucky to be helping him. As we're hearing.
Now, I will 100% confirm everything he just said. Yes, what happened was in I want to say it was late 2013.
Yeah.
I can't confirm that. But after over 2 years of me paying him that 50% cut, our arrangement changed. Now, just to give you guys a little bit of perspective.
Oh, please. Why start now?
1 month.
Okay. Let me get the story straight. You hear this loading?
Okay. 1 month.
Well, yeah. John was being very obvious about his skepticism, but that's just his thought. I don't think it was passive-aggressive. I think it was... I think a normal human being would see he's not passive-aggressively showing his skepticism, just showing it, right? And it's showing his disappointment with the whole situation. Because remember, Philip, 3 days before this, put a lot of words in John Rambo's mouth. So John Rambo's obviously a little bit perturbed at the situation at this point. Because John Rambo said... We showed in part 1 before we got into this. 3 days before this video came out or whatever it was, Philip said many things about John Rambo's mindset that John Rambo said none of it. None of it. He said John was maybe a little bit frustrated because he couldn't get the YouTube thing going. None of that was true. So, Philip's lying about it. 100% lied about his intentions in a video, and that's what made John Rambo make this video. So, of course, he's going to be a little bit pissed. And I don't think it's very passive, actually, but normal human being can see, like, okay, well, he's trying to let sure people know he is skeptic. He has some skepticism about all his business dealings and his injury, you know. Mr. Extravagant in the house says, I hope you have the setup ready pick for tomorrow. I will. I'll get it ready. I promise, Mr. Extravagant. If I don't have it ready, I don't know. I'll do a feet reveal or something. Papa Polecat says, I volunteer to test that theory, Philip. Okay, Papa Polecat, easy.
Okay. We're texting back and forth, I believe. And John's like, hey, I'm just curious. Did Machinima send you the report? Because actually, I'm kind of hard up this month. I need some help. Can I get the money a little early? I was like, yeah, no problem, man. Let's try to figure this out. So I get the report out.
Yeah. How much you want to bet that conversation didn't go like that?
No problem, man. I'm kind of hard up this month. I need some help. Can I get the money a little early? I was like, yeah, no problem, man. Let's try to figure this out.
Yeah.
So I get the report out, and I'm doing it. It was like the middle of the night.
The higher pitch he goes, the more, you know, he's lying and trying to, let's say, cater to your sensibilities of him being human, right? Trying to cater to your feelings of compassion, right? Yeah!
Okay, I'm doing it, and I don't know if I fucked up, all right? I don't know if we just had a really, really good month that month. I can't remember. But I remember doing it in the middle of the night, and it was like...
I'm drunk as shit at this point.
Exorbitant amount of money for both of us, split down the middle. It was like a ridiculous amount for a co-op. It was the most we'd ever made on a co-op by far, by like, I'm not kidding, like double. All right? And I'm looking at it, and I'm like, could this be real? Did I fuck up? So I'm doing, I mean, it's the middle of the night. I'm tired. I'm fucking it. I'm probably fucking it up. Who cares, right? I'm doing the math again. I do it again. It's the same. I was like, so I don't think I fucked up. I just think something happened. Maybe that particular playthrough got giant ads on YouTube for some reason.
Yeah.
Giant views for some reason. I don't know what it was.
Jumbo size.
You know, I don't know why. There was a time when we did, it might have been, I don't know if it was. But I know that we did a Family Guy playthrough, and that playthrough had inflated views, and we got overpaid for it. But I don't know if that was it. But anyway, there's this one time where he really needed the money, and I said, okay, I'm going to send it to you, okay? So I send it to him. All right, 5 minutes pass. I get a frantic phone call. He goes, Phil, I think you made a horrible mistake. He goes, I think you sent me too much money. This is ridiculous. There's no way. I was like, no, John, I just did the math like 3 times. And that's really, you know, what you're owed for this month's work. He goes, no. He's like, there's no way.
I really love to see John's thought on this story right here, right? Because why the fuck would then you say $100 if it's some exorbitant amount of money? So far, so much money that you can't believe it, and then he goes down to $100? That doesn't really make sense, does it? Right? Big ups Magoo in the house. Love you too, Magoo. Legend. And Aid Robinson with the $5. Holy shit. Petting it sin as well. Big ups Aid and Becca. Good. Big ups Petting it sin. Thank you, everybody.
This is a huge bomb.
Legend.
He goes, there's no way that that's the amount. And I was like, no, it really is. And he's like, I feel guilty.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
taking
John,
this much for
if
the
you're
work
out there,
for the
John,
playthroughs we
if you're out there, John, please let us know about this story.
did this month. You know, and what we're doing, we're fucking around. We're sitting around playing video.
Thank you, Papa Polecat. Jumping on the pole tonight. Come on. Big ups, Papa Polecat. I'm jumping on the pole right now.
This is a huge bomb.
Up and down, up and down.
Games. He's like, we made this much money. I was like, John, listen. I want you to know something. I don't even care if I fucked up. I make good money here. You know?
Right, yeah. I don't even care if I fucked up, John. I don't even care. You earned this, John.
I want you to know something. I don't even care if I fucked up.
Right. I don't even care if I fucked up, John.
I make good money here. You know, not only are we doing this co-op that's making crazy money, because these were the great years of YouTube when ad revenue was rolling. I told you how much money I used to make back then, insane amount. And I said, there's so much money I'm making, dude, I don't care. Just keep it. I don't even care if I fucked it up. Just keep it. You need it, dude. I'm your friend. I know this is kind of fucked up. That it's a business relationship. We even have to talk about it. Just keep it.
Good point, Invisible Mute. That's why he checked the math 4 times.
And he was happy, you know? So to me, when he's bringing this shit up.
So, Philip, you mentioned a single time you gave him money, right? A single time. John's telling stories about multiple months, years, in fact. So, I think it's a little different, right? I think John has a little bit more of a case here. You talking about a single time you gave him money. John's talking about every single month, month in, month out.
In a video like this, it's like, it couldn't have been further from the truth of this. He's making it sound like it wasn't a good situation. It was a crazy good situation, man.
You said one time.
He was so happy doing that co-op. I know he was. We had so much fun, and he was actually able to do things financially because he was making good money doing it, you know?
Okay, well, again, what we've learned so far debunks that immensely.
Thanks
because he went in debt due to making Snotsman and Hole Punch. So he wasn't making that much money. Just going off what Philip has told us. Philip revealed that John had financial problems from Snotsman and Hole Punch. That's what led to them not making the videos. That much money. I know that was a few years earlier in the timeline, but just something to think about.
And it really irks me. It really irks me that
trust me,
he even talked about this in the video. When he says, oh, I was treated fairly, but now I'm going to talk about this for a long time like I wasn't. Okay? Now, the second half.
Yeah, please.
He's talking about the $100 a week. Okay? So, in late 2013, I think, I can't confirm this because I don't have the data anymore.
Big ups, Daniel. You're a legend.
Machinima tells me they can't send me the reports anymore. They don't give me a justification as to why. They just say they can't. They also told me No one else under the partner network made those requests. I was the only person asking for that data, and they don't have to provide it. So this is just one of the many cases.
Yeah, where most content creators on Machinima that were making enough money wouldn't ask for the fucking numbers because they just kind of round up and everyone would be happy with that, I bet. But okay, go ahead.
Over the years, where Machinima's attitude towards me completely changed for no seemingly good reason. Yeah. We had a good relationship. They were sending me these reports all along, no problem. All of a sudden, oh, we can't do that. Why is he being so demanding of us that he wants this data? So they wouldn't give it to me anymore. Okay? So
what happens then?
if you don't have the raw data, all you can do is guess.
Yes.
Based off of views on YouTube, which is not reliable. And we
remember, this was one day of his playthroughs, right?
Please like the stream, and of course,
one day.
The support is greatly appreciated.
This is a guy that was streaming 7 days or making videos 6 days a week, right? Or 7 days a week at that point, and whenever he could, making videos. And he's talking about 1 day's income from the whole week. I think it's pretty safe to just round up, maybe, if you're talking about your friend. But okay, if you talk about friend,
Trying
here, you
to
might
guess
round up
how much money videos are making or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And John, after like a month of trying to guess and you know having difficulty doing it, said, "All right, forget it." He's like, "Here's what we're gonna do: just pay me $100 a week." And I even said to him, "I said, are you sure that's what you want?" I in my head, I had a ball.
This is one of the most fucked up things Philip has ever done, in my opinion. Not to the general public, but to a friend, all right? Listen up. Listen carefully.
And I even said to him, I said, are you sure that's what you want? I in my head, I had a ballpark number. I wanted to pay him around $250 a week to come do what he did, because it was Smart Guys, the commentary show, and it was all the co-op we were doing, and I knew that he was driving. I knew it was gas cost involved both ways. He lived in New York, the state. I live in Connecticut. There's exorbitant amounts of gas cost there. Probably he was paying $20, $30, I would think, every couple of weeks for gas just for the trip.
Okay. Exorbitant amount of gas costs there.
Okay. So I wanted to pay him more. That was the ballpark number I had in my head. It was around $250 a week. Okay.
Yeah. And why bring that up, man? Why would you ever on earth bring this up? So let's say you have an idea of 250. John says 100. Then you could be a really cool friend and say, here's 250. Wow. Rambo wouldn't be having this segment if that happened, right? There would never be that segment. If you wanted to pay 250 to your friend, why not do it? That shows it's not a big deal, which we all know it wasn't a big deal for the income he was making at that point. Right? But yet, we choose to our very own friend to not do that and give less than half.
And he said, no, I just want the 100. All right, that's our agreement. We're going to do the 100. By the way, I never offered him the 250. I got to clarify, because now I'm misconstruing it.
Yeah.
Bad on you, Phil.
Yeah, you better. Caught yourself in a lie again, huh?
I never offered him the 250. I got to clarify, because now I'm misconstruing it in the wrong way. Bullshit. Bad
you
on
hear, see how easily he does that? You see how quickly he goes to make himself look better in this situation? Incredible speed. He's like the Flash.
On you, Phil. Bad Phil. I got to call myself out on bullshit from now on. Bad Phil.
Yeah, why start now?
I didn't offer him the 250.
Yeah, so that makes it even worse, by the way, right? I didn't even offer him that. I didn't even offer him that, honestly. I didn't even get that far.
Face is beautiful.
Which makes it 100 times worse. Let's pretend he did offer the 250 and John had a hard line and said 100. All right, well, you did your best and you're still going to be bros, right? Unfortunately, that's not the case here. Philip didn't even mention the 250. What an asshole. 100? Hell yeah. I can do that. Sure. Some gator in the house says, isn't that Phil's MO? Make something so complicated the other person is exhausted with him and gives in some way. Good point, some gator. That is obviously his favorite tactic when faced with criticism or questions is to say enough shit that the person gives up. And it works. It works. It's a good strategy against people that don't know the whole situation. That's why he'll never do an interview with the real detractor or show up on any detractor shows. Because that won't happen, right? Okay, you said a lot of stuff there, but let's go back. So you didn't offer John the 250, right? Yeah. Well, he said, so you didn't, right? There's also a time when you said you paid him a lot of money one month. Is that more important than the every other month that you were paying him just $100? And that's why he'll never do it. Ever, right? He'll only do interviews with people that don't know everything in detail. Like Triple P, like Studying Craig. And Studying Craig knew way more than he expected, right? That was already a step into, holy shit, man. I bet his eyes went real wide when he asked about the, brought up the clip and shit. Like, oh, we're going to talk. Oh, you know about that? You know what I mean? And that's only because, Craig had a lot of help from a lot of people. And he still, he got out of some questions, of course, because eventually there is a point in an interview where it's like, all right, we have to move on here, but we didn't quite get the answer. I don't think it's coming. We have to move on, but yeah. But big up scumbag Josh, who says, I was going to give him the 250, but he only asked for 100. So as any good friend would do, I said, okay, take the 100. Thanks for the money, dummy. You do that to, I'm trying to think of a good situation you would do that in. Let's say you got you need to get your, I don't know, what's something you need to get done? Something's wrong with your car, and you go to the mechanic, and they say, okay, it'll be about 100. Oh, my head, I thought it was 250. 100? Yeah, hell yeah. That's because you're giving less than you want, and you don't give a shit about the person doing the mechanic work. Not to your actual and only friend. Your only actual friend. You don't do it in that situation, right? Yeah, yard sale. Justin Smith, that's good too. You find a nice life-size cardboard cutout of Jury with shoes on. And you're saying, okay, shit, I got $250 on that. But then they say, I'll give it to you for $50. Then you just pay $50 because you don't care and you just want the cardboard cutout. Right? I've never done that. I'm saying I would. Big up Iwamoto says, Web of Lies so big it makes Spider-Man jealous. Hell yeah, Iwamoto. Let's go.
I asked him what he wanted, and he said 100. The 250 was a number in my mind. I never said it. I feel bad now because I said that. That's a lie. That didn't happen. He wanted 100. I said, I will give you what you want. Okay? I should have paid him more. I didn't. Okay? So...
You paid less than half of what you were thinking in your mind. Okay? Go ahead.
From like late 2013 up until the time when I moved in mid-2014, he was getting paid about $100 a week for the stuff that we were doing. Keep in mind that all those other things, like he just mentioned behind the scenes, conventions, I paid for the hotel rooms, I paid for gas to driving to those when we went, just to give you some perspective.
Oh yeah, let me tell you how much I spent, guys, just so you know.
We went to E3 together in 2012, all right? I basically bullshitted Machinima, and I told Machinima, listen, I need John to come with me to E3 because I need a cameraman because I have a debilitating back injury. Now,
huh? What? So John was right in being a little skeptical about the back injury then, Philip? How did you bullshit? That's just the truth. Yeah. Actually, I have a back injury, debilitating back injury, by the way. So you do need someone to be there with you. You need a handler, a chaperone, as it were.
E3 because I need a cameraman because I have a debilitating back injury. Now, did I have a debilitating back injury? Yes.
Oh.
Did I need John to come to E3 with me to film and carry my shit? No. I could have done that myself. I bullshitted Machinima to get him into E3.
I bullshitted Machinima into getting something I definitely wanted.
I paid for his plane ticket myself because Machinima would not pay for it. They said all they would do is they would get him a pass. So I paid for his plane ticket to and from. Okay? We went to WrestleMania.
Now we're just trying to find things we bought. But also, one time we went to Chipotle, and I picked up one of those. Let's see. One time there was a toll bridge. I once bought him some Girl Scout cookies. Anything else? What else did I buy for him? Okay.
We knew going to WrestleMania in 2013 would not garner a lot of content for the internet because WWE was classically infamous for claiming content that you put out there from any of their live events. So I knew that even if I recorded footage at WrestleMania, that it wouldn't make money. It wasn't, in my mind, that was not a business trip. That was a fun trip for friends. Okay.
But you still tried to monetize it rather than spend time with your friend. Go ahead. Yeah, continue.
I paid for the gas. He drove. I paid for the hotel room. I paid for the WrestleMania tickets. Those were over $1,000 each WrestleMania tickets.
Ah, yes.
Okay?
Remember, this is something he offered John as a friend, yet we are now trying to get credit for paying for those things. That's amazing. Something you offer your friend as a present to them for something fun to do together, not even because you just want to, but because you need him to drive your ass. That's the only reason he's doing it. So he did it in the first place just to have someone to drive his ass. Then he brought Rambo in to have fun, right? And now he's holding it over, you know, the audience's head because, oh, look how much I spent on this guy. Come on. Look how much I spent. Are you crazy? That's a lot of money. Look how much it was. Big ups Base Zeno in the house, who says, hey, young person ALT, have you ever done a deep dive on the famous car accident? Yes, I have, Base Zeno. I got the link right here. There you go. That's all the car accidents that Philip has ever been a part of are covered in that video. Big ups to you, Base Zeno.
I didn't care. This was fun stuff I was doing with my friend. I wanted him to be along for the ride with me.
That's true. It wasn't a vacation for DSP. It was work trip for DSP. But Rambo had to take his vacation from his real job to go. That is true, too.
Okay.
And he uploaded so many videos. So many videos. So many videos from that fucking WrestleMania. And remember, they're not going to make money, though.
I didn't want him to feel left out because I was the one with his name on the channel. I wanted him to come with me and share these experiences with me. The WrestleMania trip was not a business trip.
Okay.
At all. It was a friend trip. For us
so why are you telling us how much it's cost then? And how you're happy to pay for it?
To go experience WrestleMania together.
How you're such a good guy for paying for it.
Or on the back end, come back and do a smart guys about it, right? But it absolutely, positively was not that. And he's saying every trip we ever went on, he was my work guy, carrying my stuff.
It's like a pack mule.
And filming. That is completely false. The only trip ever that happened was E3. Do you want to know why that happened at E3? Because we had to bullshit Machinima to get him his pass. So they needed to see him following me along, carrying my bags and equipment. They needed to see him recording some...
You think Machinima gives a fuck once you're already in there? This is incredible. Yeah, Machinima needs to see. Quick, John. Carry this heavy stuff. There's Machinima. Come on.
Some stuff that I was doing so that we wouldn't get in trouble for getting him into E3. Okay? Outside of...
John, carry this. Carry this TV, John, real quick.
That, it's actually completely untrue. Whenever we went to a convention, John could do whatever he wanted. I mean, yeah, he would be on the panel that we did at the convention to promote his own content that he was doing on his channel, whether it was his podcast or Schnozman a Hole Punch. I didn't demand that when he came to a convention, he could only talk about our content. That wasn't the intention. It was he could get free promotion for his own stuff.
You needed the content.
He got his foot in the door of all of these conventions and onto these panels to promote his content, okay?
Because you needed him to drive for you. Are you just never going to mention that, or?
There was a convention we went to, Screw Attack Gaming Convention, in 2013.
Hey, John, remember when I paid for those WB tickets? Can you carry this?
13, okay? I think it was 2013. I'm pretty sure it was.
Big guy, Rambo got his own panels? Is that true?
During this convention, I think I interacted with John Rambo a grand total of 2 hours. It was probably when we arrived, said hello, saw each other at the table that we had there a few times, and then when we were leaving, we didn't have the same hotel room. At that point, I was with my ex. We had our room, and he had his own room with Howard, okay, and OJ. I was doing my own content. I was filming everything myself. Everything that was filmed for the Iron Man of Gaming competition, I filmed, okay? Yet, he was there. I got him in. He had a table. He had a panel with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, he went and made so much content for his own channel. In this video, he acts like, oh, you got to understand.
Philip, you're again bringing up one example of many that don't fit this description, right? He's bringing up the one situation where Leanna was brought along. Well, it's not one. More than one when Leanna was there. But he's bringing up one where Leanna was there, so they got separate hotel rooms, which makes sense, obviously. But, you know, John has other friends there. He doesn't want to be around you, and all you want to do is film content, and then Leanna's there, and you know how she is. You know, you've seen the video, right? She's not really fun to be around, let's say, at this point. You know, no hate to the Leanna simps at this time, but she is kind of a little tough to work with, let's say, in the public at that time. Because Vikes, who says, who has he spent more money on, Rambo or Catherine? Oh, directly, like you can't count mortgage and stuff. So if you don't count mortgage and stuff, I bet it's Rambo. I mean, at least $400 a month. Well, DoorDash. You got to remember DoorDash.
That even though the money was good, and people can justify that the money, maybe even if it wasn't good, well, Phil paid for all those conventions and things. Well,
Yeah.
I was working the whole time. That's a lie.
Yeah.
He worked definitely during E3, and everything else was us having fun as friends. Okay? Everything else
Well, I hope you made it feel that way, right?
was, you know, like I said, that WrestleMania trip, there was zero work. There was no
Yes.
work.
Philip was recording the entire thing.
It was fun. So he is spinning this in a way that's, all right, not completely untrue, because there's one time when he actually did do a significant amount of work because we had to. Or else-
Philip has been bringing up many one times himself this whole stream so far. So, yes, I think bringing up one time is fine in this case.
Machinima might say, hey, what, did you fucking lie to us about this guy, you know, filming for you or whatever? I told him he was my cameraman. And I needed that because I had a back injury, right? Outside of that, it was always friendship. It was about friendship, me paying for everything.
Well, you'll see later how little that friendship feeling comes through, right? Oh, yeah, let me put a pinned tweet. 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard. Let me write a pin. Big ups, Nibbity! Legend. Love this series. It's crazy how much lore is in every aspect, yeah. And it's good we get the retrospectives because it all tangled web goes back and layers upon layers of webs get back into previous lies, new lies, old lies. It's legend.
Because I was the one making all the money on the channel, and friendship so that he could come with me. This statement he's making here is incredibly hurtful to me. Incredibly. Because it couldn't be further from the truth, at least from my perspective. Maybe that's how he saw it, but that wasn't what was happening. I can't believe he says this. Really, I can't. Oh, every trip that we went was full work for me, and I was taking days off of work. Dude, it was us hanging out. And I paid for everything because you were taking time off of work to do it. You wanted to go. You agreed to all of it. Like, why?
You agreed to all of it. Why would you have to agree to a friend trip? What do you mean? You agreed to what? The work they had to do? Is that what you're talking about? I want to be clear. Is that what you're talking about?
Is this an issue later? Right?
He wasn't bringing it up as an issue. He's just telling the fact of the matter. I don't think he was saying he had an issue. He's just letting you know that, hey, man, when I was at these things, I had to do work. That's it. He's not saying there's an issue. He's saying, hey, man, when I went to these trips, because Philip did say, because remember, Philip tried to flex on that, by the way. I paid for all that stuff. I paid for all of it. So then John Rambo's, you know, obviously responding to that by saying, hey, man, yeah, you pay for that stuff, but I had to do a lot of work. And he's just telling his time. He's telling his side of the tale. I had to do everything for you. So, all right.
Anyway, that's all I have to say about that. I'm actually really hurt by that statement that he makes there, because that really makes it feel like all those times we had together that were friendly, and I was doing my best to make sure that he could share in the fun of everything that I was doing as a result of being a YouTuber, that he would be part of it because I wanted him to be part of it because he was my best friend at the time.
You needed a ride, right? He needed someone to drive him. Yeah, that's true too. He had to drive every single time, no matter what they did. It was just friends hanging out though. Here, John, here's the keys. Could you lower the AC a bit? I'd like to get some shut-eye here. Yeah, just drive to the convention, please. Thank you. And please park on the back side of the convention hall. Thank you. And wake me up when we get there.
I really felt like this is like...
John, could you please put on some Darkness? I love that song. It's crazy. I Believe in a Thing Called Love. And then next in the queue, please, Gravity by Metallica. Thank you, John. I'll be going to sleep now.
Like him just saying none of that mattered at all. None of it ever mattered. It was all bullshit. He didn't care. And I don't believe that. I think that this is a video of him trying to, like I said, along with Howard, create kind of hit piece against me. And this is a messed up situation where he's trying to downplay all the great times we had that were not about being monetized. We're not about him filming, doing work for me. It was about us being friends and me paying for those fun times to happen. And he's like, oh, that's not a factor. Okay, you know, whatever.
As you can see, a theme of this is John really felt that there was no aspect to this outside of monetizing it. As he says about ending of smart guys and everything. The only reason Phil ever contacted John was to monetize shit. And that's it.
Whatever. You can believe me, you can disagree with me and not believe me. I don't care. I'm just getting it off my chest, okay?
So again, it's not me. That wasn't me complaining about, like, I should have gotten this, I should have gotten that.
Because he never did.
It's just like,
I want to talk this comment here. This comment's really good comment. It says, very mature for Phil to take blame and call himself out after all these years. That's like the first sentence you got to do so your comment goes through and Phil doesn't block it instantly. So good on you, Gulag Poppy. However, one major thing that John and Howard mentioned early on is how they eventually grew tired of hanging out with Phil because he always tried to monetize it. And even in Phil's response, he blew it off as, well, we're going to hang out and have fun anyway, so why not record it and make money at the same time? And that's the issue that he doesn't seem to be able to grasp, is that your entire life isn't all about constant content. Even as a successful YouTuber, you need to know when to tune out, so there would likely be times where they would just come over to hang out and play some games and shoot the shit. That's why we're here, right? That is why we're here. Right? That's why they have an issue, and that's why they ended up cutting ties with Philip in the end. Because I think despite the low pay that Philip got Rambo was dealing with that part because, you know, okay, I'm having fun together. We had some good times here, and then eventually it's like, all right, well, he went cross country. Nah, it's not worth it anymore. I don't want to be monetized for every single interaction with Philip. And in those messages after he moved, that's all it was about. So John has seen enough, you know? I've seen enough.
Like, again, it gets out there. He got half of what's made. But there's many more details in there that, you know, are not given.
One final thing about it, because they're going to move on and start talking about Project 7 now, I believe. By the end, those last few months that I was in Connecticut and I was paying him the $100. Not that this even matters.
So why are we bringing it up then?
That I was in Connecticut and I was paying him the $100. Not that this even matters.
I was paying him the $100.
Guys, my sister's not being abused.
I was paying John the $100. Not that it matters, though. But here's one more thing.
2 months that I was in Connecticut and I was paying him the $100. Not that this even matters. But just doing basic math, okay? Our co-op stuff had completely fallen off. We basically had done all the big games. There wasn't many big games coming out. We were just weekly doing co-op. And between smart guys and you know, the co-op stuff we were doing and the money that those videos were essentially making from Machinima, I was paying him more.
Yeah, this doesn't matter, though, guys. We don't need to bring this up. This doesn't matter at all. Just ignore it.
That $100 I was paying him a week was actually more than what was being made on the videos. So he was coming over, and we were doing content for the sake of just doing content and having fun.
Okay.
And I was paying him more money than I was making. I was losing money on the co-op for about 2-3 months there at the end there. Roughly.
Okay. Oh my God.
Okay.
2 or 3 months of losing money? Oh my God. How did you survive? How did you survive? Oh my God. The final 2 or 3 months, he was losing money. If only there was a way to know how many views he was getting right before he left. Oh, well, there is one actually. Let's get to the timeline. Okay, so timeline time. Jury, get in here. We're going to need so right before he leaves let's lock this here. Right before he leaves is he buys a house and rent in here. So we're already in the 3.7 million views area. We're in the 3 million views a month. We are paying John Rambo $400 a month. While we have 3 million views on YouTube. I was losing money. And this definitely doesn't matter. This definitely doesn't matter. Good thing you didn't bring it up, huh? Okay, let's go.
All you gotta do is look at the decline of my channel over the years and you'll see the viewers go, boo! all the way down. And yeah, those views monstrously declined on that stuff around 2014. But I wanted it to keep going. And that's why I kept paying them.
Let's get into this, man. I'll spend all day on this. Probably
Here we go. Project
hours
7.
on this topic. Try to keep it down as much as we can. But
Losing money, yeah, that good. Losing money on a friend, paying a friend $400, but literally bought a house across the country. Definitely well, actually we know now he was hurting for money. He just bought the house because he had house fever. Had to move to be an adult, but. Big ups, Paul at Burrow. I find solace in the fact that DSP slept with Panda as many times as I have, and I've never met her. Big ups, Paul at Burrow. We're all in the same boat here. We're all with zeros, including DSP.
we got to touch on Project 7 because, again, there's things said publicly that kind of need to be, addressed. So Project 7, man, the version we were involved in.
Oh.
Tell us a little bit like how it started, Howard, man, because those are your guys, you know.
Actually, guess what?
What?
The food is here early. It says order complete. Oh. Yeah, it just got delivered. So, I guess we're taking a break. A really early break, because I ordered the food to show up at like 4:30. It's 3:51. It's already here.
How dare they? 40 minutes early?
I guess let's just end the video. If you're watching this on demand on YouTube, apologies, because I was not expecting to end it there. But it's actually time to end this portion of the video, and there will be further parts, so go check them out. Thanks.
Cool. So this one last comment on this, good comment I want to read. If you have friends, then every single second should not be about monetization. And I actually remember watching this way back when it first posted by John, and he brought up that eventually he would speak to Phil just to speak, and Phil would just cut straight to talking about making content. And that's not how to have a good friendship. And even though you have grown as a person, that one part still seems to miss you, and that's a major problem. Big ups to Gulag. And there we go. Moving on, part 3 now. Here we go. Project 7. Any Project 7 fans out there? Come on.
Hello, everyone. This is part 3 of DSP Reacts to the John and Howard response video from November of 2015. If you haven't seen the first 2 parts, man, lengthy,
That's
pretty
true. Someone
detailed,
must
going
have
through a lot
wanted
of
that
stuff.
through.
I strongly recommend you go check them out here on this channel before you watch this part. This part will be starting off to deal with Project 7 and then moving on to other topics as well.
Hey, you don't want to miss part 1 and 2.
But we're going to go ahead.
You'll miss the continuation.
And, let's get started. You guys ready? Here we go. What the? Here we go.
The very beginnings of this thing.
Well, basically, we got together and like.
Well, how do you know Andre and Paul?
Andre and Paul are childhood friends of mine.
Mm-hmm.
We grew up together,
Yeah.
and basically, Paul, as we got older, Paul ended up going to like a film school, and Andre as well. So Andre went to a film school in California. Paul went to a film school in New York, and right around the time, like I had lost contact with them, and then like one day I ended up showing up to I just met them. You know, I go to church with them and everything else, and I just showed up at the church and we were talking or whatever, and they were, you know, we're talking about YouTube and stuff, and you know, I made mention about, you know, that I started doing YouTube stuff, and you know, talked about a little bit about you guys, you and Phil, and you know, they were interested. So prior to me introducing,
So that's Andre up top, and that's Paul down below. Andre, primarily,
Free bunk.
the vast majority of the workload of the video editing, while Paul was more of the guy who set up the shots. He was the guy who had the physical camera, the lighting, the audio, like the microphone. He was the one who did that stuff, okay? So together, they formed a group called Respect the Pact. It was a YouTube channel, and these guys had been making edited style content for about a year. They had 2 videos that got very popular. One was Real Life Pac-Man, where it was basically Andre being chased around by a bunch of ghosts as he followed 3D dots down an actual filmed like sidewalk, and then he would grab.
Yeah, so I really don't know why this didn't take off more, because back 13 years ago when this came out, I mean, this is very hype. Well, if you can see, I mean, it's tough to imagine now, but I mean, this video did pop off. This is 3 million views, but these take a lot of fucking work, you know. But some of them didn't pop off as much as this, but. I mean, I guess the novelty just wore off, but I mean, this is really intense for 13 years ago. The comments, the first comment says, "What did they get? Gugats, that's what they got." I mean, yeah, it's not. I mean, I'm not watching this, but you know, it's intense level of editing and effects for 13 years ago on YouTube. I mean, it's pretty crazy. There you go, and they did get 13 to almost 3 million views. There you go. Anyways, back to it.
A power pellet, and he chased the ghost like he was Pac-Man. Okay, there was a second video, and that video was real life Street Fighter. Like what they did is they put all these effects over like people. I don't remember if it was them or not, but it was like real life Street Fighter with the energy bars and fireballs and things. It was really well done. So they had a little bit of traction, all right, on YouTube. But what it was there
was a much higher tolerance. Not amazing, but I watched this up 13 years ago. Every video sucked till after 2012. It was a different time, and like there seemed to be a better, a bigger, like, I don't know, cringe. Like we tolerated cringe at a bigger, at a much higher degree than now. You know, I think because like, remember, this is not the time where like people are doing like crazy YouTube shows. Like now, YouTube is basically, in some ways, can be a cable TV for you. This was not then, right? This is people doing, you know, holding their camera up to themselves and filming. Now, people that did do real TV style shows, now that was like, oh, that's high production value shit on YouTube. But, you know, those, you know, the early AVGN shit, you know, it's like they try to make a skits and stuff, and it was very high school film style. But that was fine for the time, right? But then, you know, nowadays it's way different. But back in those days, that would have been something the internet loved. But
they were trying to break out. They were wondering if maybe they could actually turn their hobby into maybe something that would be popular, get them some income, etc. And as Howard's about to outline, well, they were friends with Howard. Howard, knowing me, and he had started doing stuff on YouTube as a result of being into my stuff. There was interest to see Howard do stuff with him and his family. So he started putting videos on YouTube, and then they spoke with him, and then basically put two and two and two and two and two and two together. Next thing you know, we're all wrapped up in a project together. So here we go.
Wrapped up in a project
Introducing you
together.
guys to them. I did a couple of videos with them under, I think it was it Respect the Pact at the time? Or, yeah, I think it was Respect the Pact.
That was the name of the channel.
I remember this is how I remembered, okay?
Yeah.
I remember you came to me, and you go, I got these two guys, they're my friends.
Yeah.
You know, grew up
I
together.
really think on that point, not to labor on this point too much, but like AVGN putting like any effort in at all was what made him be like, holy shit, man, this guy is having a whole story here. And like, even though it was like, you know, production quality was lacking for sure, but just any effort was mind-blowing, right? And also, now we know it, but the hunger for game content is, you know, that's one of the most popular things on YouTube still to this very day, right? And then it was about, you know, games. And now there's endless ways to analyze games, play games, but, you know, that was like the forefront of that. Like that busted the door down of, okay, YouTube, we want shit about games, and it's still going to this fucking day. You know what I mean? Like how far we could push content about games on YouTube, right? And that really, like, this led to a wave that we're still kind of in right now. And now we're kind of almost to the point of jumping the shark on these lore videos about video games, right? I mean, now there's just like everyone's, you know, everybody's doing lore videos about games. Remember back in the day where if you got like, remember people would talk about like retro games and you wouldn't know the game they're talking about, you know? But now, like, you know every game they're talking about. There's nothing left, you know? But anyways, let's go.
Whatnot. They want to make some videos. Are you interested in doing anything with them? And then I go, you know, thinking about it, I go, let's bring Phil in on this.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah. But I think when we, so when we
initially was like, let's do something with these guys, and I was like, let's bring Phil in on it, my buddy, you know.
That gets me when he says that.
And then it was like,
that gets me when he says that, when he calls me his buddy, because that's exactly how it was. It was like we had this fondness to each other, and
Okay.
How it all fell apart is so fucked up.
It's so fucked
But
up.
yeah, I had nothing
If only there was something I could have done. Oh, if only there was something I could have done.
to do with the initial contact or idea when it came to
Buddy.
doing anything edited style at all. Remember, I was just a guy who was pumping out raw, unedited gameplay content, and every once in a while, like a video review or a vlog. That was it. I didn't have any kind of high-level expertise in video editing, filmmaking, and nor did I really aspire to do anything like that.
Yeah, I
It was
really wanted to stay in my lane and do the least work possible. I was loving this.
actually John, Rambo, and Howard who approached me to be involved in a project with these guys because they felt I had internet clout, I had a following, and hey, we get these guys involved with something on your channel and it gets popular, maybe it can rub off on them and they'll get something out of it, which is what they're looking to do. They would like to maybe long-term do something on YouTube that's profitable for them. Okay.
To do and
Again,
the project.
profitable for them. All they're worried about is getting money in Philip's mind. That's the only thing they're worried about is getting profitable, right? Okay, yep, go ahead.
7th day.
Yeah, because that was like he started Project 7 when, like 2009.
It was I don't know. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was like a year before, and then we said, oh, let's, you know, why don't we just reboot it?
Yeah.
So that's a really, really short version. What happened is in 2009, I was dicking around on
That was way too short, John. Let me extrapolate on that for multiple minutes. Here we go.
YouTube doing shitty edited videos like skits and stuff, just experimenting. And I had a series called Project 7 that was supposed to be me playing Final Fantasy 7, but I was kidnapped and forced to play it by a character called Deathface. I'm not going to get into the ins and outs of that. Doesn't matter. Okay, there's nothing to do with this really. But when these guys approached me, all right, John and Howard approached me and said, "Hey, we got this team of guys called Respect the Pack. They want to do these edited videos. What do you think we could do?" And I said, "Well, you know, out of all the things that I've ever done that might make sense to do an edited style, I wanted to do a highly edited series called Project 7, but I didn't have the know-how or the expertise. I dumped it after like 3 videos. I didn't even bother with it anymore."
But they didn't get enough views. His gameplay videos got more views, so therefore, fuck any creative project, obviously.
And I feel like maybe that could be something we bring back, but let's do something completely different, right? Instead of it being the original idea for Project 7, me stuck playing a video game like Final Fantasy 7 that I don't like, and you know, let's do something different, a different premise. Let's get us all involved. Instead of it just being me, let's have all of us be in it as characters. That way, we all feel, you know, like we're all part of this project together. And that's really how it hit off. Was we wanted to do something, we didn't know what it was going to be. I said, "Hey, I got this thing on the shelf for like 2-3 years I haven't touched that I always wanted to do, but I didn't have the expertise to do it myself. Maybe this is the opportunity to do it." And that's how the idea started. Okay.
All right.
So
John's explanation was sufficient. Go ahead.
he was in a process of that, and you know, they were on board. Everybody was on board. We were having a great time, you know.
Yeah, it was a great time, and honestly, it was like an experience.
I agree.
Not necessarily the videos themselves, but the experience of doing it was like a real big thing for me, man. Like I learned a lot from Andre and Paul, and I kind of got the bug to like, oh shit, I want to make like movies and stuff like that.
There you
go. Thanks to those guys, just seeing what they were doing. So it was a great experience in that, and then it all kind of started to slowly erode away.
Oh,
and fall apart, man. I'd say what really punched me in the face, man. That's what it basically was. Oh. Right before episode 3 is going to come out.
punched in the face.
You know, doing my thing. This is going to be a common theme on this recording here.
Oh.
Where I'm just kind of doing my thing, doing what I got to do in my daily life. And I start getting messages from people, and I go, "What the hell is this?"
Trolls. The trolls. It's messages from trolls who are trying to...
Who told you what I said on my very own stream?
to goad each other into doing stuff. And even back then, because this was 2012, to clarify, the issues that we have are from like 2014, 2015. This was back in 2012. As far back as them, internet trolls were trying to pit us against each other.
Yeah, so again, those pesky internet trolls telling John what I said publicly on my very own streams. You fucking assholes. You goddamn trolls. When I say shit on my stream, forget about it. Doesn't exist. Doesn't concern you. Okay? I can say whatever the fuck I want about Rambo. That doesn't need to be told to him. Fuckers. God damn it.
And get us to say dumb shit against each other and get us to insult each other and get it, you know? It's always been a preeminent thing on the internet since I've been making content that trolls are trying to fuck around and trying to interject and trying to get us to kind of be at odds when we're really not, you know? And so there's a situation that's going to come up right now that's a direct result of internet trolling. So here we go.
So, right before episode 3 comes out, Phil puts out a video.
Here it is.
He's talking about
There it is.
April 2012.
Whatever.
He's so proud of the editing that he didn't do, by the way. This is from an indentured servant, by the way, this video. And he's like, oh, there it is. There it is, guys. I'm so proud. Whoa. Pretty cool. Awesome.
It comes out, Phil puts out a video.
Here it is.
He's talking about
There it
is.
whatever.
Yeah.
And he basically, it's just something he often says. He says like, he'll like set it up. I don't mean to badmouth. Don't take this the wrong way. But he says, I don't mean to badmouth John Rambo.
So remember, this is all things that Philip said himself. This is not a troll's interpretation. This is what Philip said on his very own streams. Okay? Keep that in mind.
Don't take this the wrong way. And proceeds to talk about me. Talking about how John was given the best lines. And we gave him things to do. Because basically he's upset that people were in the comments saying that, oh, John, John's the best part of this, or things like that, you know.
Very pissed.
So yeah, he makes the video saying John was given things to do. He's given the best lines.
One thing I would like to say, which really pisses me off. Oh God! All right, hold on. This audio is bad. You can tell this is like in the April, and for some reason the audio is terrible on this camera. Oh God, that was loud and
yeah, you can tell this is April. All right, so you know what just happened there? Is I've had it happen to me too sometimes when you're streaming and you look at text and you like, oh, like for example, let's say I'll start talking and I'll see, oh, the full context. I'll see the title of my stream right now and I'll say context for no reason. Right? But that's what he did. So he saw the date of, I guess, the video, like the exact date, and then he's like, oh, that must be April. What? I
would like to say, which really pisses me off. Oh God! All right, hold on. This audio is bad. You can tell this is like in the April, and for some reason the audio is terrible.
You can tell it's April. Yeah, that looks like April to me. Well, it's April. Very April-esque sky or sun right there. Sun levels. Big Dog in the house says, Phil was definitely the pick out of all the red M&M and only 6 ice cubes in my cup diva. Just pure ego looking down at people. Yeah. So give me a bowl of M&M's, only reds, and I want 6 ice cubes. There better be no sharp edges on those cubes. I want those pre-melted to be round. Thank you. Very soft edges on my cubes. Big ass Big Dog. Dogs.
This audio is bad.
I got to get that as a drop. I love that. Dogs.
You can tell this is like in the April, and for some reason the audio is terrible on this camera. Oh God, that was loud and annoying, right? Shit. It didn't sound like that to me before. I guess I'll down. How did it sound to you guys? Terrible, right? That was bad.
Yeah, that's what your content sounded like. Okay. Yes. Go ahead.
Anyway, I'm gonna play it, and this video is not defensible. This video is me once again, along with what Howard said earlier on, me falling for trolls trying to trick me into saying and doing stupid shit. What happened was this was actually a calculated attack to try to get me to say something dumb about John. I know for a fact, I found out later on, it was all orchestrated.
This is complete bullshit. People commenting on videos saying how funny John Rambo was an orchestrated attack. If anyone has any proof of that, I'd love to hear it, but that sounds pretty fucking dented to me. Let's just throw out more conspiracy theories. What? Yeah, guys, say Rambo's funny. That'll really piss him off. I mean, it does kind of sound like a funny idea. But I don't think it was a orchestrated attack.
They were literally trying to...
It's a... You've heard of DDoS attack? DDO schnoz attack. Tell everyone he's the funniest. Tell Phil he's the funniest. Go ahead. Go.
Goad me repeatedly in video comments on my forums. They were all trying to say this shit to get me to basically piss off Rambo. Okay? And I fell for it, hook, line, and sinker.
Oh my God, we are good. We knew it would lead to that. Let's say John is funny. Okay? That incredibly evil act of saying John is funny on Smart Guys, then Philip's gonna say that actually he's the funniest one. And then that'll piss off Rambo. It all makes sense. All right, boys? Start on Saturday, this weekend. Let's do it. 4 p.m. Start sending the John is funny messages. Let's go. Come on.
100%. It's my fault. I'm embarrassed at what you're about to watch. I will explain afterward what I intended to say, but look at what I actually said.
Yeah.
Here we go.
It'd be nice if we could do that in life, isn't it? This is what I intended to say. What I intended to say, instead of killing that man in cold blood, was, "Excuse me, sir. I really don't like what you're doing right now. Would you please stop?" If only life were that easy, huh? Excuse me, officer. What I was intending to do, instead of selling that weed, was actually asking if that person had the time. That's what I was intended to do. So, clearly, you can let me go. Thank you.
Not me trying to badmouth John Rambo in any way, but in Project 7, this series so far, John Rambo's character in the series gets a lot of the funny parts. He's supposed to be like the deadpan comic that all of a sudden does crazy shit or does silly stuff, and it comes out really funny. And I want to let everyone know that we've been seeing comments on the videos that are kind of stupid, uninformed, and disheartening. Things like, oh, DSP sucks and Howard sucks in this series. It's all about John Rambo, John Rambo, John Rambo.
By the way, I will bring up the video to make sure of this. And of course, there could have been other places where these comments were. But I believe when we checked in part 1, no one said anything about John Rambo. Nothing. Nothing. It was all about how John Rambo's the funniest, and that was it. But he kind of adds that part about, oh, everyone's saying, yeah, Howard sucks and Philip sucks. Oh, no. No one said Howard sucks, and I don't believe anyone said DSP sucks. Zathustra, where was it, though? Could you tell me where you saw that? And what exactly you mean by the comments? Because I want to know exactly what comments he's speaking of, right? This coordinated attack. So I'm going to go to Project 2 real quick. Not Project 2. Project 7, Episode 2. And this is where I believe they would be. Okay. I do see one comment here. Let's go. Let's do this together here. So let's go down. Blah, blah, blah. The opening... This is 9 years ago, by the way. The opening for this series, where he folds his arms, will always be one of the most awkward and cringe-worthy things on the internet. That's 9 years ago. Correct, Rob. Correct. Man, that intro where he waddles just to turn around got me 7 years ago. Okay. So, let's go down. You should have been a plumber, blah, blah, blah. John Rambo was the only one who's funny. 19 upvotes on that. Okay? There we go. Let's keep going down. The bad acting makes it funnier. That seems like everyone's good. I didn't realize Phil was such a talented actor. Now, I know that's 1 month ago, though. So let's go by age. We got to get to comments back in the day, all right? Newest first, and we'll go down. We don't want to get troll comments from recent times, right? Hold on. Let's get to comments from the day, because that's what we're talking about here. Okay. So, and look, you'll see there's a lot of fucking positivity in these fucking comments, man. All right, I'm not going down all that far. But all right, let's go. Blah, blah, blah. This reminds me a little bit of AGVGN. Such bad acting. I love it. I'm sorry, but Howard doesn't work in this. Phil and John are both funny and natural, but Howard just feels forced. There is a negative comment about Howard. Not John. I love John Rambo. Phil, your episode effects are much louder than voice acting. So annoying. Good, but too long. Let's see. Oh, iJustine slander here.
It's stuff like this that YouTube should be pushing to the top. Not the pathetic crap like Roe William Johnson, Shane Dawson, and I Justine keep putting out.
Definitely. That's what YouTube definitely wants to push. I'm looking. Hold on. I don't want to look too long. I know it's kind of a stall for the show here. God, brutal. Low-key brutal. I was hoping this would be much funnier. Ah, well, nice job. Jesus, dude. Just damn. Oh, here we go. Rambo steals the show. No pun intended. Haha, John Rambo, you legend. All right, I mean, obviously we're not going to search all this shit. But as you can see, I don't see it being overwhelmingly positive towards Rambo. And there's a lot of fucking positivity in this, right? Schnozzman and Hole Punch is better than Project 7. Nice. Here's a positive one. But anyways, the key takeaway here is that you can see there's a lot of there's I've shown you many comments from this time, and at best there's a few that say something, but it's like, yeah, John Rambo's the funniest one here. John Rambo's funny. John Rambo's a legend. I don't see much negative directed at people, right? I see things saying the acting sucks for everybody. But anyways, as you can see, there's not this wave or coordinated attack towards Howard and Rambo. You know what I mean? I'm not seeing the evidence of that right now. But the bad acting makes it so funny. Funny as crap. Thanks for uploading this. Anyways, you get the point. But let's make sure we throw John under the bus here.
That we've been seeing comments on the videos that are kind of stupid.
I think that's true. Toxic Empress, good fucking point. There could be deleted comments because Philip did delete comments like a banshee back in these days. Anything negative, just delete it off my channel. I don't want to see that shit on my channel. So you might be right on that.
Informed and disheartening. Things like, oh, DSP sucks and Howard sucks in this series. It's all about John Rambo, John Rambo, John Rambo, you know. And that's true. A lot of the funny stuff was given to John Rambo. But here's the deal. We all write the episode. Just last week, myself, Howard, and John Rambo got together here in my condo, and we all collectively together put our heads together and wrote all of episode 4 of Project 7, okay? It's a group effort, and it evolves over time. In fact, a lot of the funniest stuff kind of just becomes improv, stuff that we didn't... There's a scene in episode 3 that you're going to see. You're going to piss your fucking pants laughing when you watch it. I shit you not. And you're going to know what scene it is when you see it.
Okay.
And it was completely improv by Howard, by OJ, by a couple different people on the fucking spot. So
oh
for
my
people
God.
to say, oh, this one person is completely the funniest person, you're a complete fucking idiot. You don't understand the creative process of how this stuff comes together. The fact that we all put our heads together and write it. It's actually insulting.
The part he's talking about, I believe, is Gaseous Snake. That's the funny part. I think. I've never seen the whole thing, I don't think, and I don't want to, Penance. It's too cringy. I don't want to watch the whole thing or do a watch along.
For you to say one...
I think it's Gaseous Snake, who is just funny. Oh, shoot him in the balls. Yeah, that could be funny. Hilarious. Trust me. You'll love it.
particular person is the best person in the series when we all write the series. Case in point, in this teaser trailer, there's a funny scene featuring John Rambo, and everyone says it's the best part of the trailer. And I even saw a comment saying, "Wow, this is Rambo's the funniest thing."
Okay, now we have information. Say it again. What was that?
Part of the trailer. In this teaser trailer, there's a funny scene featuring John Rambo.
All right, teaser trailer for episode 3. I won't stay too long on this. I know this is kind of bringing us down here for positive moving forward. But Project 7, episode 3 trailer. Now, the bad part about this is there's about 18 trailers. I believe they released more trailers than actual videos. So, yeah, we have Project 7, episode 3 teaser trailer. We have Project 7, episode 3 final teaser trailer. So, I'm not sure which one to check. But I will check the first one here. I'll check the first one here first. And then see if that gives us the comment he just mentioned here. So what was the comment again?
Oh, and everyone says, case in point, in this teaser trailer, there's a funny scene in the series when we all write the series. Case in point, in this teaser trailer, there's a funny scene featuring John Rambo, and everyone says it's the best part of the trailer. And I even saw a comment saying, "Wow, this is Rambo's the funniest thing." Guess what? I wrote that scene.
Stupid.
It was my idea to put that scene in there.
Okay, so I'm just going to. I'm waiting for the moment when Rambo. I now don't. Rambo. Okay, there's a lot of Rambo in this. Oh, Dark Maggot. 12 years ago, Dark Maggot. Dark Maggot, I saw on the pre-stream 2 days ago or something, donated. So Dark Maggot's still here. Oh, it would have been the best teaser ever if all the footage was of Rambo tying the red band and then shooting the machine gun. Oh, yeah, Dark Maggot would love that. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Oh, I think I found it. This is it, isn't it? I wonder... I wonder how much of blow this will be to Phil's ego now that everyone agrees Rambo's dialogue and antics are the best part of Project 7. That's it, boys! Hell yeah! That one comment. The one comment that ruined a friendship. The one piece of criticism one man couldn't handle. Friendship died based on the sentence written by Noggles89. Oh, One Piece. I said One Piece again. Oh, look at John Rambo. Little promoting bitch. Thank you, friends. If you enjoy my Project 7 stuff and have some free time, please check out the Justice Lease, currently up on my channel. Come on, John. That's not cool. That's not cool, John. If you like my stuff. All right, let's go. One Piece. Thustra, please. You always question my One Piece knowledge. Cheeto Hige, ever heard of him? Whitebeard, try again.
I have no problem that it was John Rambo acting it out. In fact, for a lot of the Project 7 series, I've kind of been on the back burner. I've been the character that drives the story, meaning, uh-oh, I'm kidnapped. Uh-oh, now I'm emotional because I've lost my gaming powers. Uh-oh. You know, I'm kind of a tool to get the story moving, but I haven't really been at the forefront.
I am a tool.
The leader of the guys or anything like that as of yet. That will change in future episodes, as you're going to see, but for now, I'm doing the role that I need to do in these episodes. I don't need to be absolutely fucking laugh out loud hilarious. John Rambo's had lots of opportunities to be laugh out loud hilarious so far. And so he comes across as maybe the funniest character. It's a difference between saying John Rambo is the funniest character in this series versus, oh, John Rambo's the only good thing about this series. Because then you have no idea how the series works, how a creative process works, and you're insulting everyone else who works on the fucking episodes. So shut your fucking mouth or get blocked.
Ooh! Cool. Very mature way to handle criticism, huh, guys? Yeah. Yeah. We go Smitty Workman Jensen says, crazy how he turned a community into a hate mob. It's a good piece of work. That's what lolcows always do in the end. Every lolcow has well, except for a few. That's actually interesting. Was there ever a time when Chris Chan was watched unironically? Because I was going to say, I think every lolcow has some time when they're normal.
I appreciate it.
But I don't know. Chris Chan's first video was always weird. Cyrax was always kind of a lolcow though. Because I was going to say even King Cobra definitely had that time.
Good one. It kind
right?
of sucked, I'm not going to lie.
King Cobra definitely had the time where he was just a dude in that one documentary about him. He's just a dude. But he's weird, but he's a dude. Right? He's not insane yet. He's not doing crazy stuff. And DSP had a time when he was normal. Right? DSP had a short time when he was normal. He was already a lolcow, but not the internet didn't know it. The internet didn't know it yet, right? But anyways. Big ups Nibbity, who says, speaking of One Piece, happy birthday, Nico Robin. Oh yeah. Big ups. Nico Robin birthday. When was it? Was it today, actually? Let's see. I know it's always like in anime in Japan. I didn't know this till Chu told me and stuff, but like they always give birthdays to people, and usually it has something to do with their name, right? But yeah, February 6th is a birthday. It got something about like if you put the net numbers in Japanese stuff, they have blood type, they have everything. So big ups to Nico Robin, who I preferred, but pre-time skip. Honestly, I did prefer Nico Robin pre-time skip. Morgana's birthday as well. Oh my God, Morgana, legend in the house today. Happy birthday. But I like Nico Robin pre-time skip more than post-time skip, honestly. But anyways, we're not getting into anime talk. That's a different show. We'll do that late nights in the summer. Anime talk. Not really. I can't even do that. I only know 2 anime guys. I can't really do that.
Okay. Let's unpack that a bit. Okay. First of all,
right, back to the subject.
Why did I make that? If you take a look, it was the Weekend Preview. For those who don't know, the Weekend Preview used to be a weekly series that I would do that would explain what else is coming up that week, gameplay-wise, and if there was anything else, like a special event, a trailer, an episode of Project 7, a review. I would tell you in the Weekend Preview, this is what's coming. Then later on, I phased it out because now I do a daily schedule every day up on, on Twitter and my channel page. You don't need a video to tell you what I'm doing for the next week.
Got that right.
Why am I ranting about this in the Weekend Preview? Right? Because I got baited. Trolls orchestrated a situation on my forums where basically what they did is they went in there and basically started making posts on purpose to try to piss me off, and I fell for it hook, line, and sinker. The posts were things such as, Project 7 sucks. And you go to read it, and it's like, wow, this entire show is trash. The effects are trash.
But who cares?
The jokes are trash. The acting is trash. The editing is trash.
Who cares?
Trash. And then they would literally say, oh, but John Rambo's really, really good in it. If John Rambo weren't in it, there would be absolutely nothing good about this show whatsoever. Okay,
so again, I'm going to show it here. One we're mentioning here is this one, I think. I mean, there might have been more on the forums as well, but man, then this is what set us off here. I wonder how much of a blow this will be to Phil's ego, now that everyone agrees Rambo's dialogue and antics are the best part of Project 7, 12 years ago.
Okay. So, it wasn't one post, it wasn't 2, it was like a whole thread of these idiots coming over on my forums, baiting the shit out of me. Could I have ignored it? Fuck yes. I could have just said, ban and close. Why back then I was so easy to goad into doing something stupid. Okay? This is only one of many examples. All right? So, here's what I was trying to say, or what I should have said, or just never said at all, and versus what I said. What I was trying...
Whoa! You're casting a wide net there, sir. This is what I was trying to say, what I should have said, and what I shouldn't have said. Man! Whoa, this is wild. Hold on.
Okay. So...
Hold on, say it one more time.
Here's what I was trying to say.
Here's what I was trying to say. That's the first aspect of this.
Okay. Or what I should have said, or just...
Or what I should have said.
Never said at all. And
or what I should have never said. All right. All 3. Go ahead.
I said. What I was trying to get across here is that Project 7 very much was a group effort amongst all of our friends, you know, including Respect the Pact and all of them. Everyone put a lot of time and effort into those shows.
Least of which was DSP.
Okay, everyone. And I was actually offended, not necessarily as much for me, but more for Respect the Pact in general. Because Respect the Pact was working a lot of time and effort on these shows.
Why are you bringing them into this? No one talks shit about them.
Tons of time. I knew they were working dozens of hours or more a week sometimes, editing these things and getting it together.
Okay.
And it was actually really starting to piss me off. It's one thing to see it once, twice. There's threads of this on my forums about it. And like, these people are just...
Wish those forums still existed. That's fucking
dicks
sucks.
Because these guys are busting their ass to try to get these episodes out.
Yeah.
And here's some, oh, the editing sucks. Everything sucks. John Rambo's funny. Everything sucks. All right? Now, in particular, again, it is true that the John Rambo character portrayed in the show is not completely written by John Rambo. I will tell you this. A lot of it was, okay? Not every single scene, but a lot of those scenes were written directly by John Rambo. And
So then you're admitting to lying then in the previous video.
John Rambo had a lot of creative control, not only over his character, but a lot of input on the other characters in the show as well. I will today publicly say this.
Seems like he had a big part.
I feel that John was the best writer on the show. I feel that John was the biggest creative influence on the show. And I feel like the show would have never been anywhere as near as funny, if funny at all, if it weren't for John Rambo. His input was insanely key, and probably he had some of the best writing, if not the best writing, in the entire show.
So all those comments you seem to be agreeing with right now. Safe to say, you agree with all those comments that you banned and blocked?
If you don't...
How many times has that happened? Philip will ban and block comments about things, but then later say, yeah, you know what, that was true. Well, yeah, you know what, I actually agree with that. That's exactly right. Most recent example is push-ups, right? How many people did he ban about push-ups? How many? How many people did he ban about push-ups? And now, finally, years later, he admits himself, it was all a fucking joke. WWE Champions. I would imagine we are in the thousands of people banned from talking about WWE Champions. Everyone's banned. Now, you know what? I did play WWE Champions. Very cool.
Best writing, if not the best writing in the entire show. If you don't believe me, go watch his own show, Snaj Man and Hole Punch, which was the next project he worked on after Project 7 ended prematurely. He wrote that thing himself.
He directed that thing
himself. That's a show 100% Rambo and friends, but mostly him. And that show is only about 47, 48 times better than Project 7, I would say. Okay, when it comes to...
Easy to say these nice things when it doesn't matter at all anymore, isn't it? Very easy to say this shit when it doesn't matter. Now, you know what, that guy I talked shit about many years ago, he was a cool guy. Very easy to say these things then. Very easy to say things in the modern times when many years have passed. Cora says, Phil's banned more people than anyone else I can think of on the whole internet. That's an interesting question. I wonder, like, did dudes, like, I don't know this, but, like, you know people like Asmongold and shit that get there's a waterfalls of chat? I'm sure they have mods. Because they're not banning anyone. But like, did their mods ban a fuck ton of people? Right? Like, I think that's the people that might have more than Philip, because they have like literally, 15,000, 20,000 people watching the stream, and it's just a waterfall. And like, N-words all the time, right? I'm sure those mods got to work, right? I don't, who knows? It's just a theory. I don't know.
The writing. I'm emphasizing the writing because I'm not trying to downplay what Respect the Pack did with Project 7. The effects and shit in that show are way better than the show deserves, okay? But the point I'm making here is John absolutely is insanely creative, and I've said it before and I'll say it again. I feel like he's not only so creative, he's way more creative than I've ever been, and I wish that he would have been successful with his creative ventures. And what I mean by that is I wish more people would have watched them. I wish that he would have maybe gotten popular for them, and I wish that he would have actually been able to make a living doing it, because you could tell he loves it. You could tell that's passion for him. He loved doing filmmaking things, but by doing that, he took away from the things that were, part of his real life, which actually he kind of addresses later on in this very video.
Any other irrelevant facts you want to bring up? Or
okay, so again, I'm not spoiling, I'm not revealing anything. Eventually, he ran himself into the ground working on Snaj Man and Hole Punch because he wasn't making any money doing it. Okay.
Anything else? Irrelevant stuff or? Okay.
I made this video insanely stupidly. Instead of saying that, right? I say, everyone says John's
we saw the video, Philip. You don't have to give us the Pignosis translation.
Right? I say, everyone says John's the funniest thing, but we all wrote those scenes for John. And by the way, there's a particular scene with John that I wrote. I wrote that scene. So there's no way you could say that was just John, because I was involved in that. There was absolutely no reason at all for me to say any of those things.
Yes.
At all. I should have ignored the trolls. I never, ever, 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 ever should have said any of that stuff. There was no point to it.
By the way, those comments didn't seem very trollish, except, well, that one did, actually, when it said, like, I wonder how bad it would piss off Phil. That does sound trollish. But there was a lot of legitimate criticism in there, too.
Was I fighting a bunch of trolls on my fucking forums? Who cares? It was a waste of my time. If I'm going to argue with the trolls...
Oh, I keep saying the forums, man. God, I wish we should have saved that whole forums before they went down. I bet there's some gold in there.
Forums, whatever. Why did I say it in a video to my public audience? That was just stupid and wrong and dumb and not even correct, okay? So, just clearing the air. John, you could have considered him kind of the head writer of Project 7, even though we all collectively had a major part of that process, okay?
Okay.
There was other parts that other people had the heavy workload. For example, the filmmaking, the editing, that was all respect to Pat. For me, I was the promo man. I was the one who took the footage and I made promo trailers out of it. I pushed it on my channel. I heavily advertised it to my audience. I was the one to sell the product to a viewing audience. You see? We all had a role to play in this.
Again, what?
But undoubtedly, I was feeling very insecure.
Yes.
I was feeling attacked. Like, basically, people were saying, everything you're doing is shit, you know, except for the parts with Rambo in them. Like, yeah, but the parts with Rambo in them, we all kind of worked on, too. So when you say everything's shit except for those parts, well, those parts were a collective effort. So...
Oh, you're still... Now he's trying to justify what he said, by the way. Oh, very cool.
The thing is, the way I...
So now we're again justifying it?
I say it, not that I outright say John didn't do these parts, but John took it that way. Like, John saw that video and said, Phil is basically in this video saying that I didn't do any of those things, and that's untrue.
That's what you said, though.
I basically did the scene that he's talking about.
You said that. He watched the video of what you said and then reacted to the video that you made. Okay. Go ahead.
And he'll say, he's going to bring it up. All right, he's going to bring it up. So let me press play, and then I'll see if I want to have any further comments, but I just want to clear the air.
Let me see if there's anything else I have to debug, okay? We're just going to put play. Hold on. We'll see. I might have to debug some of this. Hang on.
Completely bad video. Should have never made it. My fault. I shouldn't be baited by the dumb fuck trolls. I mean, I'm really stupid that I did that. And this was actually, in reality, this event of me making that stupid video was the first time John Rambo ever got pissed off at me. Ever. And he's going to talk about that. So here we go.
That he had to outwardly tell you about. Yes.
Yeah.
So, ladies and gentlemen, it's a flat-out lie.
Yeah.
Flat-out lie. You know, he goes on to talk about, still referencing that same video, he talks about a scene that he came up with. He's like, there's a part of the trailer everyone loves with John. I came up with that. And it's interesting because, you know, the sentence before that, he's talking about how it's a group effort.
Yeah, and then he says that he came up with the lines or whatever.
The next sentence is, I came up with that.
Yeah, which is nonsense. And like you said, going back to what you were saying, John, this is a common theme. Yeah. Because again, instead of addressing this, you know, amongst ourselves, he addresses it. He addresses it.
Philip, the thing you most wholeheartedly disagree with Rambo's behavior is that they didn't go directly to the person. Well, it looks like you didn't either, did you? Right? You had decided to make a YouTube video instead. When, I mean, that's not really exactly true, because how are we going to go together when someone just makes a troll comment? Who else you got to talk to? You're not going to cry to John about it. But nonetheless.
Instead of addressing this, you know, amongst ourselves, he addresses it. He addresses it publicly, which makes it even worse.
Yeah, he didn't have to address it at all was the right play here.
He's right, because here's the deal. I felt like I was the front man. I was the one representing Project 7 to the public.
I was Steven Tyler. I was Mick Jagger.
The Project 7 didn't get uploaded to John's channel, to Howard's channel, didn't go to Respect the Pack's channel. It went to mine. So for me, I'm the front man. I'm the guy who's supposed to be the PR guy. I'm supposed to be dealing with this shit.
I'm the front
I don't want
man.
to bother them with it. Why do they need to be inundated with this shit, right? They have their own lives and shit. This is my job. It's not theirs. They're the ones who are taking time away from their busy lives to work on this project, and then they want to go back to their lives. They don't want to be bothered with the trolls, the bullshit. So I felt the responsibility to be the man to handle it. And then
It's a fucking forum post. There's nothing to handle. There's nothing to handle. You can either block it if you want, or delete it if you want. But you could always just ignore it too. You could always just ignore it, you know?
Botched it completely by doing shit like that. Okay? By the way, the scenes that they're talking about are the scenes where John Rambo in Project 7, I think it's episode 3, acts like Rambo, the character from the movies. He's stabbing viciously enemies. He's going, oh, with the gun. He's going, brrr, shooting everywhere. Okay? Now.
Oh, that's a legendary scene. Legendary scene. The comedic mind required to come up with that. The guy named John Rambo acting like Rambo. Oh, I will never understand the depths of which your comedic mind have to rise to understand, swell to. I'm not sure how his brain fits in that head. Coming up with John Rambo, acting like John Rambo. Amazing. Pure art.
Oh, with the gun, he's going, brrr, shooting everywhere. Okay? Now, those scenes, I was the one who suggested,
oh my God,
let's have a montage of scenes where John is acting like Rambo.
Oh my God.
From the movie. But then John took it and ran with it. And he's the one who kind of brainstormed the ideas. We all had input. Don't get me wrong. We all had input. But John was the one who brainstormed those ideas into what that montage became.
Amazing.
Okay? So.
Incredible. Oh my God.
The way that I say, oh, I came up with that scene. Well, I came up with the concept. That doesn't mean that I wrote it, planned it all out, filmed it. I mean, it had nothing to do with that. I just said, hey, let's do that as the idea. You see? I was feeling insecure. I was feeling attacked. I was feeling like this is something that it was my baby because it's under my channel, right? Yeah. It is. It's my project. I mean, yeah, they're all involved.
Again, we're responding to a comment in a forum post. We are not responding to CNN or the BBC. Also, in nightly news, we do have information. The whole country has joined hands in agreeing that John Rambo is the best part of Project 7. This will be shared worldwide. We'll have the president's comments in a few hours, and the Prime Minister of Japan is also chiming in on this later in the evening. Stay tuned for more. This is not something you have to handle.
My baby, because it's unfair. I was feeling attacked. I was feeling like this is something that it was my baby because it's under my channel, right? It is. It's my project. I mean, yeah, they're all involved for sure. So you can say it's their project too. It's our project, but at the same time, it's on my channel. So I'm responsible to deal with all this horse shit that's going on. Yeah. And I did it horribly. I did it absolutely terribly.
It was my job to respond to all this horse shit going on. Again, I'll stop saying it eventually. We're talking about a forum comment and YouTube comments.
And that's all.
And he's still making sure he wrote that part, right? He's still making sure in modern day, he still wrote that part.
Yeah. He doesn't get, there's no call to me, there's no conversation.
They didn't want to bother them.
Hey, you know, people are saying this shit. Maybe you could say something, or there's a way to.
There you go. Philip just said I didn't want to bother them, right? So remember, Philip's biggest grief or biggest beef with John Rambo to this day is that he didn't say things right to his face. That his biggest beef to this day is that he didn't say things right to his face. Well, you see Philip's opportunity, and what does he do? He says, I didn't want to bother them. Well, maybe Rambo didn't want to bother you.
Say it differently, or is this something, honestly, it's not something that even needs to be really addressed at all?
That's right. Ross G says you outright say I wrote that scene, but now you're saying you didn't because I did not write the details of it. I wrote the concept. I wrote that scene.
Even needs to be really addressed at all.
That's right. Job. Ross G says you outright say I wrote that scene, but now you're saying you didn't because I did not write the details of it. I wrote the concept. There's a concept versus actual detail. The concept I came up with. Let's have John be like John Rambo and do a montage of shit. And then John did it all. Thought up all the ideas and all the intricacies. I probably had input a little bit in it. But he made it come to light. It's a difference between saying I have an idea and versus the person who actually makes the idea happen. You see? So that's the truth of it.
Yeah. Basically, people.
So once again, we are saying that, oh, by the way, I definitely did write it. Right? But now he's saying I had the idea. I have the concept of the character, but he didn't write it. Okay, gotcha. We had the concept.
Saying I like this aspect of this show that you want me to watch.
Yeah.
But he talks about a scene in the trailer that he came up with. I came up with that. It's basically the part where I'm shooting the gun like Rambo does.
There it is.
There it
it's
is.
Not exactly a genius.
My magnum opus. Tips, where are they?
It's basically the part where I'm shooting.
Cinematic history right here. Enjoy. A friendship lost over this cinematic masterpiece. Where is it? Looking for something very feverishly. Want to play it. Friendship lost. A friendship lost with cinematic history made. During this scene
in the
here.
Trailer that he came up with. I came up with that.
Wait.
It's basically the part where I'm shooting the
Cinematic history made right here. Friendships lost. Wounds made that can never be healed. But yet it gave the world this. This masterpiece. One day, the following names will be heard. When you think Hollywood, you think Spielberg. You think Scorsese. And then you will also think Burnell. All right, I'll stop.
Exactly a genius idea. And I'm shooting the gun like Rambo does.
There it is.
It's not exactly a genius idea. And, I think several people suggested it. And when it was actually filmed, it's not like he's not like he was directing the scene.
I don't think I was even in there.
Okay, it was, it was something I did. To put it frank,
There was a lot of ad-libbing in Project 7, and there was a lot of trust.
Philip, can we let him talk, please?
It's like if you, the scene is John Rambo acts like John Rambo and goes crazy. I trust John Rambo to figure it out because he's smart. He's an intelligent guy, and he's creative. He's going to figure it out. I didn't direct him. I wasn't the director. There was no director of Project 7. We all did it together. Like, there was no, I'm head director, and this was the guy who did it. We all helped each other to get through it, and that's a lot, I'll be honest, that's why a lot of times the shots look like shit, because there's no director saying, do this, do this, do this. It's all of us just kind of doing it on the fly. So he did that completely by himself. I didn't tell him, just do it this way or do it that way, and he shot it a few different times. It was Paul recording, and he did it a few different times to get the shot. So, me saying, I wrote that. Well, I didn't write it. I thought of the concept, and then he ran with it and basically did the rest of it.
Okay, so we're debunking ourselves while rebunking ourselves by saying we didn't write everything. I wrote the concept. He did everything. We're really confused right now.
A scene that... the scene where he's like, there's a scene in this episode that a lot of people put together. John wasn't involved in it.
Oh, yeah, that's true, too. That's true, too. He said the guys were responsible for setting up the shops and recording everything. That other guy. But all right, cool.
There's a scene in this episode that a lot of people put together. John wasn't involved in it.
Didn't say that. That's false. He says, there's a scene in this episode that people put together. John wasn't involved in it. Didn't say that at all. I said there's a scene in this episode that's put together primarily by Howard and OJ and a few other people. It's this scene they're going to show.
Yeah.
It's Howard and OJ acting it out, and then John had input in it. I never said John wasn't involved in it at all. He puts those words in my mouth.
Okay, well, you do that a lot enough for both of you.
Because
you do that
he's
enough for both.
angry at me for basically...
All right, 2605. I want to see exactly what he says here. I'm going to go back to this, though. Don't worry. I want to see exactly what he said here, okay? Here
we go. Myself, Howard, and John Rambo got together. Episode 4 evolves over time. In fact, a lot of the you're going to piss your fucking just becomes improv effort. And it evolves over time. In fact, a lot of the funniest stuff kind of just becomes improv stuff that we didn't. There's a scene in episode 3 that you're going to see. You're going to piss your fucking pants laughing when you watch it. I shit you not. And you're going to know what scene it is when you see it. And it was completely improv by Howard, by OJ, by a couple different people on the fucking spot.
Yeah.
So for people,
if it was John, you would have said John, though. right? You said Howard, you said OJ, and then you said a lot of people. Like, if Rambo was involved, you would have said it unless you want to discredit him for his input, right? You want to discredit his input. So there's a reason that Rambo wasn't listed, and that's because we're trying to discredit what he did. And remember, there's only 4 people in this whole thing, right? Or 5, right?
By OJ, by a couple different people on the fucking spot. So for people to say, oh, this one person is completely the funniest person, you're a complete fucking idiot. You don't understand the creative process.
Okay, so you get it. You get what John Rambo's thinking there, right? Semantic side Phil is coming out, but there's a reason he chose not to say Rambo. I mean, it's not like they got a whole fucking crew, right?
And then John had input in it. I never said John wasn't involved in it at all. He puts those words in my mouth because he's angry at me for basically apparently saying that he wasn't a good part of the series or didn't have as much influence as he did. That didn't happen. So I hate to say it, but this is also kind of a theme in this video that they did about me.
Oh,
they
here we
take
go.
one thing that outright is undeniably true.
Yeah.
Yes, I outright shouldn't have made that video. I outright said things in the video that were factually untrue. Then they spin it and say that I said something I didn't say. I never said John wasn't involved in that scene. I said it was primarily Howard and OJ, and he was, I said other people, implying, yeah, he was involved too.
No,
So
that
was
wasn't implying
Paul
that.
filming
Okay.
it. So was probably Andre, okay? They already did this previously. They said, oh, Phil said that we talked shit about him. No, I didn't. I said a bunch of dumb shit I shouldn't have said, but I never said you talk shit about me, and then you have a whole segment about it that I said you talk shit about me. I never said that. So this is a theme with this video is say a bunch of stuff that's true,
Well,
but then
let me get that again.
I never said that we talk shit about him. They already did this previously. They said, oh, Phil said that we talk shit about him. No, I didn't. I said a bunch of dumb shit I shouldn't have said, but I never said you talk shit about me, and then you have a whole segment about it that I said you talk shit about me. I never said that. So this is a theme with this video is say a bunch of stuff that's true, but then all of a sudden throw shit out there that's not to kind of corroborate what we're saying. They didn't have to do that. They had
What? I'm going to get the transcript for this one. I think this calls for the transcript. Okay, ready? They already did this previously. They said, oh, Phil said he said we talked shit about him. No, I didn't. I said a bunch of dumb shit I shouldn't have said. But I never said you talk shit about me, and then your whole segment about it that I said you talk shit about me, I never said that. So this is a theme with this video. It makes your mind melt away. All right, ready? I'll say it again. One more time. Ready? They already did this previously. They said, oh, Phil said he said that we talk shit about him. No, I didn't. I said a bunch of dumb shit I shouldn't have said, but I never said you talk shit about me, and then your whole segment about it that I said you talk shit about me, I never said that. So this is a theme with this video. What the fuck? That makes sense. Definitely makes sense. Big up, Ziwamoto. Fragile ego, kill the show, and a friendship. Yep.
enough. I fucked up enough.
One more
They
time.
already did this previously.
Listen.
They said, oh, Phil said that we talk shit about him. No, I didn't. I said a bunch of dumb shit I shouldn't have said, but I never said you talk shit about me, and then you have a whole segment about it that I said you talk shit about me. I never said that. So this is a theme with this video is
Okay.
say a bunch of stuff that's true, but then all of a sudden throw shit out there that's not to kind of corroborate what we're saying. They didn't have to do that. They had enough. I fucked up enough. They didn't have to throw other shit on top of other shit when already there's a pile of shit, you know?
OJ and some other people put it together. Of course, it was the great scene where you, what was it? You shoot the gentleman and then you say you didn't wash
Here's
your
the scene.
hands.
Yeah.
Okay. In all honesty, you know, it was put together by you, OJ, and me.
Yeah.
And
Correct.
Andre and Paul filmed it and directed it. So basically, everyone was involved in putting that together but him.
Oh,
I was there watching.
Oh no! Direct hit.
Everyone was involved in putting that together but him.
I was there watching the whole thing. I just didn't have any real input on what they did.
Okay, Philip, we're gonna have to go back though, because previously you said you made a segment that you're gonna laugh your ass off with that you, OJ, and Howard made, but now you're saying that part wasn't true. Not making any sense.
I was there watching the whole thing. I just didn't have any real input on what they did.
It's just mind-boggling. Why?
You were there and had no input. Okay, well, is that input at all? If you were there but had no input, does that mean there was input at all? And just because 2747, I promise, just because this is what the show is all about. Let me hear exactly how he described it again.
Uh-oh, I'm kidnapped. No problem. On the back, we'll get to fucking laugh out. And so he comes across as maybe the fun series. How the series works. So shut your...
Okay, wait.
Anything like that to get the story.
Thanks for the membership.
Acting it out. In fact, for a lot of the Project 7 series, I've kind of been on the back burner. I've been the character that drives the story, meaning, uh-oh, I'm kidnapped. Uh-oh.
Okay,
time. In fact, a lot of the funniest stuff kind of just becomes improv stuff that we didn't... There's a scene in episode in the John Rambo, but here's the deal.
Okay.
We all write the episode. Just last week, myself, Howard, and John Rambo got together here for time. In fact, a lot of the funniest stuff kind of just becomes improv stuff that we didn't... There's a scene in episode 3 that you're going to see. You're going to piss your fucking pants laughing when you watch it. I shit you not.
So who made it?
And you're going to know what scene it is when you see it. And it was completely improv by Howard, by OJ, by a couple different people on the fucking spot.
Okay, so he didn't say himself on that one. I apologize. He did not say himself on that one correctly. Directly.
It's just
the whole thing. I just
was involved in putting that together, but him.
I was there watching the whole thing. I just didn't have any real input on what they did.
It's just mind-boggling why he would do these things publicly.
Yeah, it's one thing. I mean,
because I'm an idiot. Because I'm a sucker. Because I fell for the troll bullshit over and over and over back then. They really got to me. They made me feel insecure. They made me feel like shit. They made me feel like everything I did was a waste of time. They were telling me it publicly all the time. They were making this is how you don't play, saying all the content you ever made in gaming is worthless. You're a terrible content creator. You don't deserve success. And it got to me. And I made tons of mistakes like that. This is one case. There was tons of videos. This is the only one that they're involved in. There's tons of cases where you can see Phil got baited again. Phil got baited again. It happened all the time back then.
Okay.
This is true.
Still do to this day, by the way, if you couldn't tell. Because Pigped Lord of Dirt, legend, who says, I never said that I did the push-ups. I said I couldn't move my camera to show me doing them to you. This dude falls back on the same defense every time. Yep. Big ups, Pigped Lord of Dirt. And big up Street Panda, the legend in the house, who just sent me, I bought the Kool-Aid Girl picture from. Street Panda's a legendary artist in the house. I still got to put it up, though. But I do have the other one, though.
Like he said. Let's say every word he said is true. Even then, it's fucked up to be saying this.
I'll show you tomorrow, actually, because I'll show my setup and I'll show the closet setup. You can see it.
Not only
I should have never said it.
Not only are you saying it, but it's also a lie.
Yeah.
I should have never said any of it. It had nothing to do with anything. And most of it is half-truths or partial truths.
Okay, let's talk about this. So, on that specific episode, what did I do? Why did I deserve to be treated like that, okay? I show up. I do the very best I can. I try very, very hard to do my best. I brought
truths or...
Let me hear this again.
I should have never said any of it. It had nothing to do with anything. And most of it is half-truths or partial truths.
Okay, let's talk about this. So, on that specific episode...
What?
And most of it is half-truths or partial truths.
Okay, let's talk about this. So, on that specific episode...
Okay, it doesn't need to be said. Half-truths, partial truths, or doesn't need to be said. So, half-truths is lying, as the truther says. That is correct. Big ups, Hate Army. So, I was there watching them fill the whole thing. I just didn't have any input. Spoke like a true cuck. Yeah, that is cuck behavior, isn't it? I was there. I didn't have any input. I didn't input anything myself, but I was there. I was in the room. I was in the room, though. You'll be happy to know, but I just didn't input, actually. There was no input.
What did I do? Why did I deserve to be treated like that, okay? I show up. I do the very best I can. I try very, very hard to do my best. I brought OJ into this. I brought Chap into this. Those are...
That's OJ.
People that I went to high school with. I go back a long time. Chap is a professional actor. He played the gaseous snake gentleman. I brought them in, tried my very best, and why is this stuff said? Why does this happen? Right. So I'm pissed off, man, at this point.
And he should
And
be. It was stupid. Why am I talking about this
I
on
think
the
I talked to you first. I think I was ready to be done with the whole thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think that was one of the breaking points for the show to start ending. It was that, and it was that, and then after that,
Slowly
there was all
eroded
this
from
thing.
there.
Eroded from there, and then the erosion started getting substantially worse.
Because he saw people say, "Oh, John's the best," whatever,
Yeah.
and that made him so upset.
Yep.
I'm angry.
I mean, the bottom line of this whole thing is, imagine someone saying that one part of a creative project you have is stealing the show, and that hurts you so bad that you ruin the friendship with that person based on it. Based on that fact, right? Just because you're not the star for a minute. The brightest spotlight is not on you. Well, remember, he's still getting all the monetary benefit from it. He is the one that is making all the money from it. It is all about public perception. That's the most important thing for him. Like I said, I think Philip's thing, like, obviously he's the biggest e-bagger on the internet, always will be. But the money, he's not the greediest person on the internet. He's not after money more than anyone else on the internet. What he's after more than anyone else on the internet is acceptance. And he has tied acceptance to money, right? So that's how he sees it, right? So when he's not given acceptance, that is when he is at his most toxic. And he throws everything else away just for the acceptance side of things, right? It's his friends are nothing. All that matters is acceptance. That's it.
No, I was angry because they were downplaying
I'm angry.
No.
So upset.
Yep.
I'm angry.
No, I was angry because they were downplaying everyone else and basically saying the entire show was shit, which it wasn't. I was angry.
Okay, let's explain this away. Yeah. No, John, that's not clearly what's true. That's not true.
Because I felt like it's particularly Respect the Pact was being disrespected with the things that the trolls were saying, but I shouldn't have said anything.
I think you could tell Respect the Pact that, there's some troll comments on my forums. Don't check them out. Not that they gave two shits about those forums, I bet. Sorry, guys. Just want to let you know there's a lot of heat on my forums right now, okay? You don't want to check those out, guys. Don't worry. I'm defending you, though. He didn't even do that. He just made a YouTube video saying that, don't worry, guys. John's not the most important person. I also wrote stuff. And notice how in that video he didn't say anything about Respect the Pack? Huh? If this is true, why wouldn't he have said in that debunk video, Respect the Pack did a lot of good stuff too, guys? He didn't say them. So this is all bullshit. Only thing he wanted to do was protect his own ego. That's the only thing he did here. He did not even mention Respect the Pack. I'm sure they didn't give a shit anyway. But I'm saying, let's follow his logic here.
It wasn't. I was angry because I felt like it's particularly Respect the Pact was being disrespected with the things that the trolls were saying. But I shouldn't have said anything. Who cares about them? The show had good viewership. If you look, the show had hundreds of thousands of views at the time, which is big for my channel back then. So I don't know why I even said a word. I got baited again. But no, I wasn't trying to downplay or insult Rambo at all. Although some people definitely said it came out like that. And in addition, here we go again, right? What happened? The trolls messaged John. Hey, John, did you hear what Phil said?
Yeah.
Because it worked. They tricked me. I said stupid shit in a video. Here we go. Send it right to John. And John looks at it and says, what the fuck is this shit? What is this shit?
That's what you said. It wasn't some kind of troll creation. It wasn't some kind of edited video. They just showed the video that you made.
It right to John. And John looks at it and says, what the fuck is this shit? What is this shit? What is wrong with Phil? Why is he such an idiot? Now I have to slap him. Okay, he didn't say that. But he did call me. He's going to talk about that.
And what's funny is I think people are trolling and I think he made statements like in the past about it. Like a little bit, but not too.
Yeah, if it was a leaked Discord call or something, then all right. You know what I'm saying? But this is a public YouTube video he put out on his own fucking channel. It's wild.
This degree where he's like,
how much can we blame the trolls for at this point? Yeah, the trolls shared a link from DSP Gaming. These fucking trolls, they're sharing links.
Stupid.
You know, it pisses me off when you say that you shouldn't say John's the best or something. So people start doing it like out of spite, just to fuck with you.
He's right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They might not even necessarily think that. They're just, let me just write this because I know it makes him upset. And then he buys right into all that.
Correct.
Yeah.
100%.
So at this point, I'm really pissed off. So I call him. I call him immediately, and I fucking have it out with him, dude. I tell him everything I'm feeling about it, and I'm pissed off. So
I mean this now. I know this is in a joking manner. Okay, but I'm just gonna say this. I'm not kidding. If he had walked into my place and slapped my face, I would have been like shocked, but I would have not been angry. Because I mean, he was a really close friend of mine. You know what I mean? Like he was basically my closest friend at the time, and if he was so upset that he felt like it was that much of an insult that I was saying this fucked up stuff, I wouldn't have wronged him. Or I wouldn't have felt wronged by him. If he punched me in the face, I would have been like more upset that I upset him to that point than him striking me in the face.
Yeah.
That's the kind of friendship I felt we had.
Most humans, unfortunately, especially adults, right? We don't need to be hit in the face to understand we did something wrong. But with Philip, I think, honestly, he does need that because he can't really understand any social cues outside of physical violence, I guess. I mean, that's it. That's what it takes. You have to be that direct with Philip to get it, right?
Upset that I upset him to that point than him striking me in the face. That's the kind of friendship I felt we had. You know? I felt like if there's something really wrong, he'll tell me. So here we go.
To his credit, he apologizes profusely. He says to me that he felt insecure, or he is insecure. He shouldn't have said it. He just got really frustrated with what they were saying, and he just couldn't take it anymore, and he had to say something, and he exploded. So he apologizes to me, and I accept it. But he never actually says anything publicly.
Yeah, why not,
There's
Philip?
no public apology. There's no clarification about what he said, how it wasn't exactly the truth.
Yep.
And then what basically happens is there's people that are his fans, and a lot of them not very bright. Let's be honest here. And they start shitting on me. You know, they come at me and they shit on me because they think, oh, fucking, you know, that's what Phil wants me to do, right?
Yeah.
Wrong.
Okay,
It's
go
the
ahead.
trolls. It's the same people.
Truth.
Oh, is this the part we're going to take? John, you got to ignore the trolls when this whole thing started because Phil didn't ignore the trolls? Let me hear this one more time. Sorry.
Exploded. So he apologizes to me, and I accept it.
Yep.
But he never actually says anything publicly. There's no public apology. There's no clarification about what he said, how it wasn't exactly the truth.
Yep.
And then what basically happens is there's people that are his fans, and a lot of them not very bright. Let's be
Oh, he has the same take as Triple P, your other friend.
honest here. And they start shitting on me.
Oh, I mean, Triple P calls them wheelchairs. I'm assuming that's fine because, Triple P's your friend you let on his show, and he calls them wheelchairs. So I want to use the words that Philip's friends use. I just want to be clear.
They come at me and they shit on me because they think, oh, fucking, that's what Phil wants me to do, right?
Wrong. It's the trolls. It's the same people who go to me, go to Rambo, harass him, right?
Yeah.
This is not my fans doing this. When have I ever told my fans to go do anything like that at all? Ever. And there's been people who've been outright wrong to me on the internet. Like, outright.
Well, that's not true. Unfortunately, you did do something like that. You recommended people go spam that guy's inbox. Remember that one? You also told your fans to click the ads. But DSP did say go spam that guy's inbox, right? When's that? I mean, this is ancient history, of course, but he asked, when have I ever done that? So I believe if that ever happened, it's worth bringing up, right? Where is it? Spam that guy's inbox. I can't find Mortal Kombat. Oh, that's yeah. This Mortal Kombat clip as well. I can't find it, but it exists. People know it exists.
Right. Did dastardly, fucked up, really nasty shit. When did I ever tell them to go do anything? Never. Now, what he's saying is, oh, well, Phil's fans aren't very bright. So when he makes that video and he doesn't publicly denounce what he said, they go and attack me. It's not my fans, dude. Those are the trolls. Those are the trolls that the same people who are harassing me are now harassing you. And if anything, again, I'm sad that they did that because he didn't deserve that at all. He did not deserve that in any way, shape, or form to have
I would like to know the reason they did that, though. Was there any person that released a video that would lead to this happening?
Coming after him just because he was involved in my content. It's fucked up that these years, see, before this year, before Project 7, I would say that John and Howard, particularly John, Howard, again, wasn't really involved in much of my stuff, but John was insulated from a lot of that toxicity and negativity of the internet. He didn't have a lot of that rolling over to him. In fact, most people praised him constantly for his work in my co-op stuff.
Yeah, you hated
for his vlogging, for the stuff
Yeah,
he
you
was doing
hated
on
that
his
part,
own
remember?
channel. They loved it. Then all of a sudden in 2012, when This Is How You Don't Play hit, well now let's harass the fuck out of everybody, including everyone around Phil and everyone involved with him, his family members, his friends, his co-worker, everyone involved in anything. Harass, harass, harass.
Yeah.
So he's thinking, oh, Phil apologized to me. This is great. What happens? He's still getting attacked for it. People are saying,
Because why didn't you make a public video? Which is what John just mentioned. You make a public video? No. You did it in private, which is fine. Good first step. But wouldn't it be also nice to make one in public as well? Then, even if, let's say, these trolls couldn't say anything, could they? Because John would know to ignore them because DSP fans have been told to not believe anything negative about John. I'm just really interested, though. What did June the King say about his fans?
This someone works with his fans who have been doxxed, are people with disabilities, are socially inept, or are just lonely.
Yeah. I think he has autism.
Oh, shoot. That was... I thought he'd say something positive about his fans. I'm sorry about that. June made a great documentary. DSP said that, so I thought it would be positive. I do apologize for that. Sorry.
wow, you really didn't do that much in Project 7. I don't even know what they said to him because he never told me that part. So I don't know what Pete trolls are saying to him. I have no clue. I don't know who's going and harassing him or whatever. Certainly I didn't say any. If you look again in that video, did I negatively say that John was taking credit for anything that he said? No. I never said, oh, John's overly taking credit for things. Not at all. That wasn't the point of me even trying to make that video. So I have no idea what they said to him. He didn't deserve anything. They should have been quiet, and I wish they never contacted him.
Yeah.
Now, he says, I never said anything public. He's correct. Until today, I never talked about
Yes,
this.
so whose fault is that?
Because, again, I'm the front man. I'm the public-facing figure.
So why wouldn't you? Then that means you have to say something publicly then, if you believe that.
I want all that vitriol and shit tossed at me. So I think if I say anything...
You'd be making a positive video?
Further, I already made a stupid video that got us all into trouble. All right? Like everyone already, I look bad. And I said something in that video too that actually pisses me off today. I said, oh, we've been looking at the comments and we think this. That was me, not we. That was me.
I think most people that watch DSP stuff understand that we means I. I mean, that just kind of goes without saying. I mean, come on.
I was misrepresenting all of us as a group in that video. Okay,
thank you. And every video that ever came out after that as well. Go ahead.
Completely wrong to do that.
Okay. Got it.
I had this conversation with John, who's incredibly pissed at me. We hashed it out. By the end of the conversation, everything was fine. It was water under the bridge. Everything's fine. No lingering issues. Here's how we ended the conversation. Okay? Don't ever address it ever again. If you see criticism come in from the series,
this is the part that we can't ever prove or deny. So Philip's trying to make himself not look bad for not making a public video with this statement right here. Okay? So,
don't ever address it ever again. If you see criticism come in for the series, ignore it. If you see anything come in, just ignore it. That's what we agreed. So why, if that was our agreement, just ignore it, ignore the trolls, ignore all of it, why after the fact would I have gone public and talked about it again? It would have actually gone against what we agreed to. Our agreement was just don't talk about it ever again. It's fucking stupid. Why are you giving attention to trolls? Just ignore it. John's right. Let's do that. So then why would I go public again and say, oh, by the way, let's talk about that subject again?
It was just public in your own videos, right? You left the video that caused this whole problem. You could put a nice period on this whole sentence by having a nice public video and saying, sorry, guys. I was speaking for John Rambo at that point. We all wrote this stuff together. And I just want you to know that John's doing a great job. I think he is the funniest person in this show as well. And hope you continue to enjoy the series. That's it. And it's over. And then John knows any fan, or as Phil thinks of them, trolls, would say anything to John Rambo. He's like, well, it's not Phil fan, so I don't give a shit. Right?
Well, he told me not to, essentially. He's like, don't address it again. But now here we are years later, and he says, oh, well, Phil should have publicly went forward and said something. Well, why? Because he got harassed after the fact. So, again, hindsight's 20/20. Maybe the better
50-50.
thing to do would have been going public and said, listen, the whole thing's blown out of proportion. I fucked up. Sorry about that. But we agreed
Anything
not
else,
to.
or
And so then he got harassed for it, and now he feels bad about it years later, like I was hiding the truth from the public. No. So we agreed not to talk about it again, so I didn't. And then now you're mad at me 3 years later because you got harassed for it online. You can be mad at me for being harassed, but don't be mad at me for not doing something that we agreed I'm not going to do. You know? Okay.
Anyways, Philip also says that's why, remember he talked about his wife's restraining order? He blames that on Chatham, because he they talked before the show about things you might want to share. So again, blaming the other person because they said you might want to share that. Anyway, some gator in the house says he wanted to be center stage. Instead, he was a tree, and that is factually fucking based. He did say when he was at school, he was in a play, he was never a speaking part. Some gator in the house says the greediest and neediest DSPism. Now, the previous one was Smitty Weberman Jensen. My bad, Smitty. You're a legend. That is correct, Smitty Weberman Jensen. And Luigi's Nair in the house says, if Rambo mentioned keeping the apology private, Phil would have 100% shown the text on the stream. Absolutely. Well, the thing is, though, Luigi, you got to think this was a public speaking thing, so there's no proof of it, which, again, a lot of questions we could ask Rambo if he ever resurfaces. I hope he doesn't, but that would be one. How did this end?
All right.
And
thank you for re-upping your membership. I appreciate that.
Did you also think that Philip was not going to say anything publicly? Did you agree to not show anything publicly? I'd like to know.
Yep.
He wants me to do that. And again, why did I deserve that?
He didn't. Yeah. It was my trolls. It wasn't my fans. It was my trolls going after him.
So continue with Project 7, man.
Remember, Philip, you're the reason they went after him at all, whether it be troll or fan. Philip is the reason they did that.
So you said it started to fall apart at that point. What do you think happens? Where do you
started to fall apart? And what was basically happening was,
go ahead.
These guys were working 50, 60 hours a week on getting this shit edited to try to pump it out with these unrealistic timelines. So naturally, what's going to happen is people are just going to get burnt out, which ended up happening. Couple that with the fact. And again, we don't want to talk too much about it, but couple that with the fact with money. These guys are putting all this time and effort into this fucking thing, and what do they get? Gugats. That's what they got.
If you make fun of any stream chatter, Derek or otherwise, you're a fucking loser.
I want to hear once again what they get. I think we're all here. We all ready to hear what they get. Space Grass in the house. Do you think Rambo and Howard ever check in on Phil's drama and get some chuckles? I imagine, right? I like, how could you not? If your friend, well, your old friend that you don't have positive feelings for is fucking up on the internet, yeah. I imagine that's why, like Jaha's every once in a while shows up, because it's fun to laugh at someone that is not doing well. I mean, you know what I mean? Like, it's kind of sounds mean, but we're talking about the person we're talking about. It's not mean. It's kind of funny to laugh, right? So, yeah, I imagine they might check a video every once in a while. Maybe. Who knows, though? I imagine, it's like 2 a.m. They had fun, fun night out, laughing and stuff. And then, 4 a.m. the night, you want to check in on this how you don't play real quick? And they say, yeah, just do one. And they start watching until 4 a.m. Big up Space Grass. All right, here we go.
Again, we don't want to talk too
600 by 700 to pasta maker. Sorry, not 600 by 787. That's the card.
much about it, but couple that with the fact with money. You know, these guys are putting all this time and effort into this fucking thing, and what do they get? Gugats. That's what they got. Because when you think about it, right? You would think, oh, because people are when I say this, people are going to come back and say, well, Phil promoted their channel and that's all they wanted. No. Here's the bottom line.
Please.
Right? You would think, out of the kindness of your heart, you would go ahead. Damn, man, these guys are putting all this time and effort.
Yeah,
in this thing.
It's not kindness. It's just what's fair is fair.
What's fair is fair. Let me throw them a couple of bones. Whatever the case may be, throw them some money here and there, some percentage of the profits, and this and that. So what ends up happening? John and I are talking about this.
Okay, so before they get because they're going to get ahead of themselves to another portion of this. So now I have to
Pre-bunk. You know what we should do is, should we... I kind of want to try it for this item, okay? What I want to do is go to where Howard talks again, and then we're going to go back to the pre-bunk, okay? So we're not going to listen to the Pignosis pre-bunk. Oh my God, how long is it? Holy shit! All right, well, this pre-bunk is... Wow, okay. That's long. Okay, so let's go to where they... Holy shit, man. All right, here we go. Okay, so he talks a fucking lot coming up. Okay, so I go to... Okay, I think this is when he's next here. Okay, so he talks a lot in this part, clearly. Okay.
When we were talking here, saying basically, oh, Respect the Pack didn't get anything. Respect the Pack got exactly of Project 7 outside.
Say this, people are going to come back and say, well, Phil promoted
it's too dangerous. I can't miss it, but
their
yeah.
channel, and that's all they wanted. No. Here's the bottom line, right? These guys a couple percent.
The ones who brought it up, not me. As you know, we never publicly really talked about the behind-the-scenes situation of Project 7 outside of Respect the Pack couldn't do it anymore, and I didn't find a suitable replacement, and therefore that was the end of the show, period. In this video, for the first time ever, they reveal, the reason that the show ended is because Respect the Pack wasn't getting paid, okay? Completely false. It really is utterly, completely 100% false.
That's not what he said.
When I say this, people are going to come back and time and effort into
that's not what he said.
into this fucking thing, and what do they get? Gugats. That's what they got.
Okay.
Because when you think about it, right? You would think, because people are when I say this, people are going to come back and say, well, Phil promoted their channel, and that's all they want.
Let me hear
and
again.
Why did I deserve that?
He didn't. Yeah. It was my trolls. It wasn't my fans. It was my trolls.
I want to make sure I get this right.
So continue with Project 7, man. So you said it started to fall apart at that point. What do you think happens? Where do you
started to fall apart? And what was basically happening was these guys were working 50, 60 hours a week on getting this shit edited.
Yeah.
To try to pump it out with these unrealistic timelines. So naturally, what's going to happen is people are just going to get burnt out, which ended up happening. Couple that with the fact. And again, we don't want to talk too much about it, but couple that with the fact with money. These guys are putting...
Okay, so couple that with money. So, they were working their ass off, and couple that with money.
All this time and effort into this fucking thing.
Okay, got it.
And what do they get?
They get Gugats.
Gugats. That's what they got. Because when you think about it, right? You would think, because people are... When I say this, people are going to come back and say, well, whatever the case may be, throw them some money here and there, some
because they're going to get ahead of themselves.
So is couple that with money is the reason it went away. So the workload and couple that with the money. Okay, so let's go, Philip.
To another portion of this. The ones who brought it up, not me. As you know, we never publicly really talked about the behind-the-scenes situation of Project 7 outside of Respect the Pack couldn't do it anymore.
Okay.
And I didn't find a suitable replacement, and therefore that was the end of the show, period. In this video, for the first time ever, they reveal, the reason that the show ended is because Respect the Pack wasn't getting paid.
No, that's not what they said directly. They said the workload, working 40, 50, 60 hours a week, couple that with money.
completely false. It really is utterly, completely 100% false. I hate to say it. This is 100% baloney. So allow me to explain the whole situation of what really happened, okay? When John and Howard presented to me the idea that we're going to do a creative show with these guys, we met them. We had a whole meeting at a Starbucks. We sat down for hours hashing out idea after idea of how this would go and all this stuff, all right? And I remember in that initial meeting, what we started talking about was eventually how would we figure out who makes what, how's it going to go, and all of that. Now, again, here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, clip this. Same as before. If you're going to do business with friends, you have to have a period, okay? I wish I made a contract with respect to Pact with these guys about this show, because all this has ever done is led to problems. And as much as I look back fondly on the time that we worked on the show, end result was so much drama, so much bullshit, and apparently something that I never knew. This was a key factor in them basically not wanting to be my friend anymore, which I never knew. I didn't know about any of what they're about to discuss until they made this video. It was never brought up with me. It was never fully discussed at all. Never. Okay. It was never a topic of discussion ever.
So remember, you have to go directly to Philip and say, hey, can we get a couple of bucks to get money?
So if you don't tell me, I don't know. This is if 3 years later, after this project ends, now you make a video exposing the truth of Project 7, but no one ever said this to me at all.
Yep.
During the entire time this was going down.
Remember,
okay?
you have to say
now,
you want money.
Let's talk. I'll tell you the truth of how everything went down with our arrangements. We all met at the Starbucks, and it was like a 2-3 hour meeting, all right? And we were talking about what idea do we want to do? Oh, let's do Project 7. Let's reboot it. Oh, what's the idea? Oh, I know. I lost my gaming powers. Like, we kind of brainstormed all that on the fly. So right up then and there, we started talking about money. Now, not that it was a huge topic of discussion, because none of us were looking to make a fortune on this show. In fact, the initial discussion was, even if it becomes popular on YouTube, great, but how do these shows really take off? And I started telling them about my experience knowing of other content creators who had made fun internet shows. And it's not the show on the internet making the money, it's all the shit that comes after. The merchandise, the DVD sales.
Remember, Philip knew nothing of this, by the way, because he had never done any of this. He had never done any of this before, but he's trying to tell you about how those shows make money when he has not done that himself.
All the shit that comes after. The merchandise, off. And I started telling them about my experience.
So he has no experience, but he's going to tell us about his experience.
Knowing of other content creators who had made fun internet shows. And it's not the show on the internet making the money, it's all the shit that comes after. The merchandise, the DVD sales.
Never sold a DVD.
Getting syndicated on other...
Never got something syndicated.
Channel networks and shit. That's where the money is. It's not the initial, oh, I ran the show on my channel and got so-and-so views. It's
okay, so this is him trying to tell the guys how we're not going to make that much money on the initial airing of the show, so don't worry about that.
Everything that comes after. Going to a circuit of conventions. And when you're in those conventions, you have a panel to promote your next project that will make you more money. And then you sell merchandise tie-ins and things. That's where you make money.
Panels with 300 people in the audience at maximum, that's how you get your money? Yeah, those conventions. The 300 people in the audience, they're going to be really hyped about your next show. Definitely. Like, he thought those conventions are like promotional vehicles that are going to change his career when he has 50 people in the room. What? There's 50 people seeing your shit there. Yeah, you might sell a few shirts. All right, I'll give you that. How many shirts you selling there? Let's say you make $100 on shirts, right? If you sell, let's say you sell 10, 20 of them. That's where you make the money?
Money on these projects, okay? It's not about, oh, I got 100,000 views on the video and I made $100 of profit on ads or whatever. That's nothing. That's fucking nothing. It's chump change, right? You're talking big picture. You want to get a web series that gets the... Maybe we made Project 7 and it gets the attention, all right, of everyone around on the internet. Wow, it's a good series. And now all of a sudden, Machinima wants to pick the series up and produce a new series and pay us to do it. And now... You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what happens. You get all these...
This is all... Remember, he has no experience with any of this. This is all trying to avoid paying them for the views of the video, which got hundreds of thousands.
Sponsorship. Sponsors want to come in and run their products on the show and shit like that. That's how it works. Okay. So I explained this to all of them up front, and I'm like, you know, and by the way, everyone's in agreement. Everyone's kind of like, that makes sense. So you know, even though yes, maybe some point down the road,
yeah,
all right, we'll talk about let's divvy up revenue if there was ad revenue on the videos. We don't know if there will be, if it'll even be popular.
Easy.
Let's talk about merchandise sales, DVD sales.
What? Let me hear that one more time. It seemed like there was talk about divvying up revenue
Down the road, all right, we'll talk about let's divvy up revenue if there was ad revenue on the.
Let's divvy up revenue if there was ad revenue. Ad revenue. He's not talking about the shirts. Not talking about conventions, which Philip always had to pay to go to. He's talking about ad revenue from the video. So there was an understanding of down the road, we'll talk about divvying up ad revenue. He says it himself. Okay, one more time, just so we don't say anything out of context. Listen up.
To all of them up front. And I'm like, you know, and by the way, everyone's in agreement. Everyone's kind of like, that makes sense. So, you know, even though, yes, maybe some point down the road.
Yes.
All right. We'll talk about.
So that was agreed to at the meeting. At some point down the road, we'll talk about it, and let's divvy up ad revenue if there's ad revenue on the videos. This is the exact statement, okay?
My sister's face is
let's divvy up revenue if there was ad revenue on the videos. We don't know if there will be, if it'll even be popular. Let's talk about merchandise sales, DVD sales. The whole intention was, let's just get together. Let's make this thing. Let's fuck around with it. Let's put it out there on the internet.
For them, it's not fucking around. It's 40 hours a week. That's not really fucking around. Well, maybe for Philip, that is fucking around because that's how much he played Supercard. Matthew Fachin in the house says, DSP always believed he was bigger than he actually... Well, yeah, that's... And to this day, remember? To this day, he does. Big ups, Matthew.
And see if it gets popular. If it does, great. Then we'll talk long-term about money. We'll talk about splitting shit up. The whole idea was we were going to sell T-shirts and DVDs. That was really...
So there always was a future plan of talking about splitting up the money. He's telling you right here, that was the case. There always was a plan of splitting up the revenue in the future.
Yeah, like once season 1 is done, which season 1, just so everyone knows, was supposed to be 6 episodes, 5 story-based episodes, and then a Christmas special. And then that was supposed to become a DVD set that we were going to start producing and selling for profit on the internet, get the word out there, and then season 2 would be hyped up and sell a lot more and all of that. Okay? There you go. So, that was the agreement we came to. Now, respect the pact specifically. When we first met, said to me up front in the meeting, in front of everyone, we're not doing this for the money. We're not looking to make $1 on this series. What we want is we want our channel, Respect the Pact, to get attention from the series. We want promotion. We also want to see if we can start monetizing our own content. Because as I said, they had already made 2 very popular videos, the Real Life Pac-Man and the Street Fighter video.
Remember, though, we're hearing about what happened at the upfront beginning of the video, beginning of the meeting. But Philip said at the end of the meeting, they agreed we'll talk about divvying up ad revenue at the end, at some point down the road. So again, this is Philip likes to talk about the Howard and Rambo's timelines, right? They're talking about the timelines. But the timeline here is at the end of the meeting, he said everyone's in agreement. Some point down the road, maybe we're going to talk about divvying up ad revenue. So it was always something they were going to do in the future. Maybe. Okay, so it definitely was a thought. It's not like everyone agreed, we are never getting money for this. Never. It was agreed at the end of the meeting, according to Philip, that they were going to talk about divvying up ad revenue from the videos down the road.
They weren't getting anything out of those. They wanted to get into a partnership network, but their channel was very small. No one knew about it. They wanted to be noticed, okay? So, we agreed that what I would do is do everything I possibly could to get their channel noticed, to give them credit for the work, and also one thing that's never brought up whatsoever in this video whatsoever, which is absolutely ridiculous that they left it out because it's completely unfair. I got Respect the Pact partnered with Machinima so they could monetize their videos. At the time, it was not easy to get a channel into any kind of a partnership because you had to have qualifying criteria. You had to have a certain number of subscribers, a certain number of viewers, etc. Because back then, the partnerships on YouTube were all managed partnerships, meaning that company is vouching for you and your content, that you're not going to violate the YouTube terms of service, you're not going to steal copywritten content. They're vouching for you to put ads on the videos, and they get the revenue and you get paid a flat rate. So they wanted their channel to be monetized. That was the agreement we had. Let's get Respect the Pact monetized. Now, we'll make Project 7 for you. We won't even care about the money you make on it because we're going to try to make our own videos on our own channel that are going to start bringing us in revenue and our own revenue streams. And in tandem with that, let's go ahead and you promote our content on our channel.
This was all said at the meeting? This sounds pretty weird. We don't give a shit about money. We don't care about making money. We're not in it to make a lot of money. But yes, could you please get us monetized with Machinima? That is, something's not adding up here, how this meeting goes. This is one hell of a meeting.
And we'll make money on our own shit, and then we can do our own stuff later on, but we can have this nice collaboration with you, getting us the attention we want. On the back end, we'll talk about maybe selling DVDs and merch, and then later down the line, we'll talk further. That was the entire conversation.
See? He's skipping that part again. Down the line, we'll talk further about splitting up ad revenue. Again, he alludes to the fact that there was talk about splitting ad revenue in the future.
We had.
Yeah.
Okay? Go look. They were partnered at that time with Machinima because of me. I went behind the scenes and I talked to my contacts at Machinima and I say, hey guys, here's a great group of guys I'm working with on a project. They're really trustworthy. They got great content. Check out their 2 popular videos. They did. Because of me, they got a partnership. All right? Now, I can't tell you how much money they made on their own videos or the partnership. I have no idea. I'm not, you know, I don't know. I don't even know what kind of a partnership they got. Was it the same as mine? Was it less? I know it wasn't more, but I don't know what it was, right? I have no clue. I can't even, you know, they couldn't contractually, they probably couldn't even talk about it.
Definitely.
But that's what happened. So they're now able to monetize the videos on Respect the Pact. I'm promoting Respect the Pact in all the Project 7 content, and frequently, if they had a new project or something that they wanted to be mentioned, I would mention it if they asked me to do that. Okay?
Yeah, they had to ask you to do that. Seemingly everything has to be, you have to be asked to do it.
Okay? That's what was going on. Now, as for Rambo and Howard, we never had a discussion about what they were going to make because, again, we were friends, right? So,
well, it seemed like you ended the meeting talking about, we will talk about splitting ad revenue down the road.
Here's what we'll do. We'll make the show. We'll promote it. We'll go to conventions to premiere the episodes. We'll attempt to maybe sell some merch along the way, and then when season 1 is done, we'll make these DVDs. We'll pump them out. The whole idea here was that I was going to finance it all. Like, I was going to pay for everything. So if the episodes made any money, that money was going to be reinvested into the show, making merch, like making the shirts, making the DVDs. That's where the money was supposed to go. That was profit on the show. It was never, oh, well, we made an episode, and now there's 5 of us involved in making the episode. So you take the actual money you made from Machinima on that episode, you divide by 5, and everyone gets paid. That was literally never once discussed, ever, when we were talking and developing Project 7. Not once. So for them to start this conversation here, saying basically, oh, Respect the Pact didn't get anything. Respect the Pact got exactly what they wanted. Literally to the T of what they asked for, that's what they wanted, and they got it. Now they're going to talk in this video about how that falls apart, all right? And I will add more to that, because just so you guys know, to prepare for today, I went through every email I ever had with Respect the Pact. I'm not going to read those emails on this stream. That would be, you know, wrong.
Because that would be devastating for my case.
I'm going to paraphrase as best I can, but I'm going to tell you exactly what happened from what they were telling me, okay? Let's continue.
And John says, I'm going to talk to him. So what does John say? John goes up to him and says, dude, you know, throw him some money, man. These guys...
Oh, Ashton and Andy are my friends, man, with the Rambo. Nice.
If you throw them some money, they'll continue. If not, they're going to stop.
Yeah, and that's a great point, because like anytime there is a problem, I always do address it right to his face.
It's always done. That's true.
So
which is not being said now.
What does he say?
I forgot to change the camera. Thank you.
Interesting. Interesting. So John just said that's not what's being said here, but whenever I have an issue, I address it to his face. John just said.
What does he say?
I forgot to change the camera. Thank you. Okay, let's continue.
Has the audacity to say,
Wait, let me hear that
Which
again.
is not being said
what is-
now. Sit right to his.
stop?
Yeah, and that's a great point because like anytime there is a
Yeah.
problem, I always
Yeah?
do address it right to his face.
It's always
Yeah.
John. That's true.
So,
Which is not. Which is not.
Yeah, it is always John. He does address things to my face. Thank you. Yes.
Which is not being said now.
what does he say? He
I forgot to change the camera. Thank you.
Yes, he does also address it to my
Okay,
face. I appreciate
continue.
that.
has the audacity to say, "Oh, they didn't." I told them, or I asked them if they wanted money, and they denied it. That's a fucking load of shit.
By the way, timeline's wrong. He's saying all this happened first. Wrong. What happened? The timeline's wrong. He's going to now go into what happened before this.
Let's get ready for the pre-bunk. Go ahead, pre-bunk us.
This whole video, the timeline is so skewed, you can't make heads or tails of what they're saying.
I'm making
He's
heads or
saying
tails of it.
That they wanted money, so John came to me and asked me to pay them, and I said no. That never happened. Okay, not once. That's completely untrue. It's a completely different sequence of events. They decided.
That's completely untrue. Well, it's a different sequence of events. So it is true, or I'm getting confused.
Not to be part of the show first and outright said we're done. They literally sent me an email
What?
that's completely untrue. It's a completely different sequence of events.
Yeah.
They decided not to be part of the show first and outright said we're done.
Yeah.
They literally sent me an email that says, I read it last night. It said, we are done. We don't want to be part of the show anymore for personal reasons. They said some of it is because our channel, Respect the Pact, which was partnered at that point with Machinima, was not getting the views and attention and making the money that they had hoped it was going to do by being involved with this project. That was one factor.
So
But
it
then they
was
also
a factor then.
say in the same email, there's also other personal reasons keeping us from continuing with this project.
No, that's just you add that on to not be a douchebag. You know, it's like, yeah, really, we're not getting enough money, brother. There's some other stuff too. Right, so money was definitely a contributing factor then, huh?
So the email,
Guys, my sister's not being abused.
Yeah. So he made a point. If money really wasn't a part of it, you'd say, yeah, we have a kid. Right? That way, I got a kid coming up and I can't do the show anymore. But they chose to bring up the money side of things too. Because Meth Bear in the house says, attention, views, popularity. He's obsessed with how much he and others get. It's all attention. He's like a pick-me girl. Notice me, senpai. Absolutely. Big ups, Meth Bear. The bear in the house.
It's written, is stating, we quit. We can't continue. Yes, a portion of that is because we weren't making enough money on our channel, but also...
Yeah, got it, Philip. Got it. They said it again.
So we have other personal stuff going on behind the scenes we'd rather not discuss publicly. There's absolutely no way to continue.
So what Howard said is absolutely the truth. Thank you, Howard, for telling the truth. And Philip just corroborated that. So big ups to Howard and Philip for making sure the truth is out there. Thank you.
Okay. Then John comes to me a few days later when we're doing our co-op session. He says, why don't you throw the guys some money? I said, here's the email. They don't want money. They outright say right in the email, they can't continue because of personal reasons.
But you're missing the first paragraph, which was all about the money. I'm interested. Oh, what would this... You're covering up the first paragraph oddly, but let me see what's in this first paragraph. Oh, we are not getting enough financial benefit to continue this series based on how many hours we're putting in. Oh.
So if I now contact them and say, let's talk money, they're going to be like, did you even read the fucking email? We said we can't do it because of personal reasons. Now, the truth of the matter is I did arrange a meeting with them anyway. I did. I arranged a meeting with them where we were going to sit down and still talk about whatever was going on because I said...
So you did care enough to make a meeting with them to talk about money? What? Hold on. So, okay, let's go through the logic here. So first, Howard says it is about money. They quit because of money. Philip then agrees with that, says, yes, I got an email. It says they're not getting enough money, and also there's other personal reasons. John then says, hey, man, why don't you throw them a few bucks? Philip says, they're not talking about money, you dumb fuck. Why would it be weird if I talked about money? But then I set up a meeting with them anyway. Okay. Hard to keep up. Let's go.
Listen, I wish you guys the best, and I want you to know something. I appreciate all the work you put into the series. If we have this meeting, it's not going to be me pressuring you to come back. If you want to talk about that, that's something. But I would much rather say hey, let's just have a conversation, and we, even if it's goodbye forever, have a nice life, at least we have the conversation. All right? Here's what happened. We had the meeting scheduled at the same Starbucks of the initial place we had met, and I got the shits. I ate leftover pizza, and I was crabbing my
Oh, that must have been a snack pizza.
brains out that day. So I had to cancel. And then I never rescheduled because, all right, you want to know the truth? I knew they were already done with the show for good. I knew they weren't going to come back to it. And I have some reasons I can tell you this. But I can't tell you yet because I want them to say it first. Okay? So let me go ahead and press play, and I will get to this in a second.
So, because
very convenient, huh? Very convenient.
Talk to them afterwards about it.
All right, so Project 7 was a lot of work for them. I don't think it was much work for us.
No.
Despite what Phil would talk about how hard the day was. It's a
Yes.
No,
short
it wasn't.
day.
It wasn't hard. It wasn't
Yes.
hard for us. It was hard for them.
Yeah, I mean, it was one day of filming.
Yeah.
Maybe.
It was hardest for them by far, and I can vouch for this from someone who's done video editing before. Not to the extent that they do, not even close. Even me doing a stupid edited review of like a video game, like a game review, okay, like the old Hateful Truth. Those could take days to edit. And then you think it's all good, you render it, and you go to watch the finished product, and it's shit. And you're like, I fucked it up. I got to do it all over again.
Well, that's probably because Philip would not watch one thing back before he just rendered it, right? He'd just be like, that's good enough, render. Shit, hang on. And go to back. You know?
Imagine how long it took for them to do those edited shots with the effects and things. Howard's saying, oh, maybe it took him 50, 60 hours a week. I believe it. I 100% fucking believe that fully. Respect the Pack put the most work into the show. I put the second most work into the show. Not because I wrote it, because I didn't. We did it together, and a lot of that was John. But I was the one who had to promote the show, who had to upload the show.
Philip, that's talking words.
Who had to push the show, who had to
that's speaking words.
Advertise the show, who
speaking words.
Had to work with Machinima to get the show shown on
that's writing an email.
Machinima channels, which we're not even talking about in this video, but
right?
I got the show try to get syndicated on Machinima and stuff like that.
So that's writing an email. Go ahead.
I was doing all that legwork with the show.
Legwork.
So even though I didn't do as much work producing the show, like actually writing or filming, I was doing all the legwork to get it out there. So I did the second most work on the show. Now these guys are like, oh, our roles were easy.
Yes.
I'm glad they feel that way. My role wasn't easy, and neither was Respect the Packs. Okay.
Okay. Philip is doubling down on saying it wasn't easy.
They said, oh, it was a day of filming. No. For me, it was a day of filming.
Yeah.
Constant uploading.
Uploading. Oh my God. Uploading. I forgot about the uploading. God damn the uploading. No.
Re-editing the trailers, pushing them, mentioning it constantly in all of my content, working with Machinima to
you already said these things.
Get it on their networks and all of that. It was a lot of work. It was. And keep in mind that every time that I took time out to work on Project 7, I wasn't making gameplay. That was my most profitable product, which we're going to talk about in a moment, because they're going to start talking money and how much I made on it, and this is going to give everyone a big laugh. So let's continue.
Okay, we're going to laugh. Get ready, guys.
And one day, and then you go home.
Because NWO News says one trick pony, one take piggy. Hell yeah. Big ups NWO News.
Before you continue, John, just to give you guys an idea of how long it takes to do things. One of the scenes that we did in that part 3 was a bullet scene where we're firing bullets. They told me it took them 4 to 5 hours to do that, just that scene, and that scene was what, 5 seconds? 5 seconds?
Yeah. Trust me, I know.
I believe that too.
I know about that.
I believe that too. Definitely, I believe that.
So it gets to a point where it's a lot of work for these guys.
I believe that too.
They feel like they're not getting anything back. And they're not getting credit. They're not getting,
Oh, no. Not anyone getting credit. They outright say in their email to me, oh, we know we're getting the credit and we know you're doing everything you can to promote our stuff. We're just not getting enough notoriety and enough money out of our own stuff for this to continue. That's what they said. There's nothing about credit. They love.
We're getting enough credit. Why would you write that email? We are very happy with the amount of credit we are receiving. Thank you.
Enough money out of our own stuff for this to continue. That's what they said. There's nothing about credit. They love the amount of credit they were getting.
Monetized.
I love my credit. We feel the amount of credit we are getting is adequate. Big House Movie sign. Says, Dave was uploading so much that his mouse strained a muscle. Yeah, it's uploading is tough, guys. And W News says, imagine doing all that leg work with those calves. That's why his calves are so big, all the leg work. Big ups.
Things, nothing. Okay? Something happened.
Uh-huh.
Andre had basically a big life-changing thing. He's having a kid. Okay? Andre's gonna have a kid. So they basically say, look, we can't do this anymore. We can't do the Project 7 anymore. It's just not it's not worth our time, man. We got other stuff we got to do. So I had a conversation, like Howard said, I had a conversation with Phil. I said, listen, you have to make it worth their while, man.
Yeah.
Throw them money. And I'm not saying throw them like thousands of dollars. There's already been, at this point, there was already 4 episodes that had come out. Right?
Yeah.
Because we did four episodes that had come out.
Yeah.
So I said, listen, just divvy up the money. There's 5 people in this. There's only 5 people, the crew and the whole cast, okay?
Yeah.
The video's made a lot of money. If you look at the views, the amount of views, he gets paid on views. It's like $2 for every 1,000 views that he gets. So simply, figure out how much you made off all these videos.
That's a good point, big guy. So, Reflect the Pack's email was definitely like letting them know, like, hey, man, we can't do this anymore. We got some stuff going on. And they also did mention money there. And then John comes in as well to say, hey, man, let's throw everyone some money, right? And that led to Philip making the meeting. But then Philip got diarrhea. And the meeting didn't happen. And because you know why it really didn't happen is because Philip found a scapegoat for ending the series, which is Respect the Pack having a kid. You know what I mean?
I know that Phil spent a lot of money on props and stuff, so subtract all the costs. That's fair, right? Subtract all your costs, then you have a number, and then split it the 5 ways and throw them the cash.
Yep.
And offer that to them. There's no guarantee that they're going to continue with the series, but hey, man, at least try. And that's fair. His response, they don't want money. they don't want any money after this. Based on what he says, they told him that.
Yeah. And then I asked them about it, and they said he didn't even talk to them.
Oh,
and this is what I mean.
Philip.
I can pull up the email right now, but
why don't you do it?
I'm not going to do that.
Okay, so yeah, kind of convenient how that is, huh?
I could literally pull up the email they wrote to me and said
why don't you show the email heading then? Why don't you show the fucking heading? You read John's entire email and text messages. Why can't we see the title of an email then? It'll make your point seem a lot more believable, won't it? It'll make your point seem a lot more believable.
They're not continuing with the series. Yes, the money and the notoriety was a factor, but it's personal reasons that we cannot continue. He outright says, Andre's having a kid. I knew that.
So, hey, man, I'm having a kid, so, that takes up a lot of time. I can't be doing this shit I don't make money on anymore. You know what I mean, man? I mean, he didn't say it like that, more professionally. But, that's what he was saying in a very professional manner, I'm sure, right? Is, hey, got a kid coming. It's going to be, I don't know, man. We're going to have to talk about the money side of things, and there's a lot of other personal reasons as well. But
because they told me, they probably shouldn't have. They told me that. And I was like, all right, if he's having a kid, how the fuck is he going to have 50, 60 hours a week to work on our show and hold down a job to raise his kid?
If you give him money, then he will make it happen.
I get it. All right? Now let me get this straight. You want me to seem like a pushy jerk and go to them after they outright said, we basically quit.
Pushy.
Here's the email in writing. We're doing it on purpose.
Pushy.
They didn't call me and have a conversation. They wrote it in an email on purpose. So it was in writing. We quit. Okay? Now you want me to go back to them and try to be pushy and be like, well, what if I give you some money? Will you keep doing it? Will you keep doing it? No. He's having a kid.
Yeah.
I don't want to bother him anymore. At this point, when this was what I was told,
I'm pretty sure he would be happy to take some extra money.
I said, all right, forget it. I will look for someone else. And in fact, there were 2 candidates that I had to work on this. One of them was actually someone who I had gone to high school with at one point. And my dad was friendly with his family, and he was a professional video editor and filmmaker and I was someone who I was talking with about this behind the scenes, and I was going to contact him and start making offers.
I was going to contact him and start making offers. Okay, so listen to this sentence again. I'm going to read it for you, okay? My dad was friendly with his family, and he was a professional video editor and filmmaker, and I was someone who I was talking with them about this behind the scenes. And I was going to contact him and start making offers. I'll read that sentence one more time. I was someone talking with he was someone I was talking with about behind the scenes, and I was going to contact him and start making offers. So we both were talking about him behind the scenes, but then we were going to contact them. We didn't actually contact them then. Okay, got it.
And my dad was friendly with his family, and he was a professional video editor and filmmaker. And I was someone who I was talking with about this behind the scenes, and I was going to contact him and start making offers. And then what ended up happening was, this happened, they quit or whatever, and within a couple of months, I started getting all this toxicity and negativity about Project 7. Everyone guessing that, the series ended because you fucked it up, or this happened, or that happened. I was like, now wait a minute. Maybe it's not the best idea then. Maybe if we're going to do something new and fresh, we should do something new and fresh with someone new, a new group.
Fuck those guys.
Start worrying about,
fuck those assholes.
Continuing Project 7 in general, okay? But then something else happened, okay? In early 2013, I started deciding that I wanted to move out of Connecticut. I said, I don't want to start in a giant creative endeavor, all right? That's going to be an overreaching thing that's going to take months and months to work on if it's my intention that within the next year to 2 years, I want to leave Connecticut because I don't like living here, okay? I determined, hey, I can do what I do anywhere in the country. Why am I going to live here? So the whole thing fell apart, and I just said, forget it. And I never did it ever again. All I did was I just worked on my own edited content from then on, my own gameplay content from then on. If there was something that I edited myself, that was it. I never had any kind of a collaboration like this ever again because of pretty much the way it went down. Okay? Now, again, I have the email. I read it. Do you want me to be pushy to these guys and try to force them to be part of the project again by offering them money?
It's not pushy.
That would seem pretty fucked up in my book. Like, I think that would be a terrible thing to do. They're telling me that we don't want to be involved anymore. They didn't tell me Andre's going to have a kid. They told me that Andre's having a kid. So how the fuck is he going to work on the show anymore? He's the one doing all the editing.
He'll take extra money.
So that was the end of it for me. Now,
okay. Wow.
You want to talk money. This, in my opinion, is so fucked up. These guys don't know anything about the money made on videos on YouTube when it comes to what I was making on Machinima. They don't know anything about what I spent. I never wanted to talk about this. Now I have to. Because he's gonna bring it up right there. Mr. Smiley up there, Howard. He's gonna bring it up next in the video. He's gonna start talking about t-shirts. Alright? Oh boy. Now I'm gonna start to get upset about these fucking t-shirts.
Okay.
I wish we could go back and if I could build a time machine right now. Okay? And I could make a DeLorean time machine. I would get in there with Doc Brown. We would go back in time to the moment when I was on Vistaprint clicking make these shirts, and I would destroy my computer. I would take a sledgehammer and smash my computer into pieces in front of me and say, I'm from the future, bitch. Don't do it, you fuck.
You wouldn't, instead of this whole rigmarole, not decide to pay them money, or... You could just avoid this problem by paying them money. You said it wasn't a problem. They just didn't ask for it. So you could have avoided that problem. Go back in time and actually pay them? Or
King idiot. These t-shirts will haunt you forever. And then I would jump into DeLorean and leave.
Got it.
I can't believe the trouble these fucking t-shirts have given me over the years. All right? Now, let's talk quickly about the money involved with Project 7, okay? I financed all the props, okay?
Including ones they had no idea how they were going to use, like that one gun from, what's that movie called? What's that game called? Gears of War. A $400 or whatever fucking dollar gun that they didn't even have a use for. He just bought shit. We'll find a play to use it somehow. We'll use it at some point. Rather than pay people, we bought props we didn't even know how to use yet. Because Vike says, did you find a call-in showtime? Actually, I did not yet, Vikes. This weekend is kind of rough. I definitely want to do it this week because that is a very fun show for me. And it definitely is a lot of fun. The first 2 episodes have been amazing. If you haven't seen them, check them out. They are on the show here. The next topic is going to be work stories, all right? So it's going to be tales of work. And that'll be, sadly, it might have to be Monday night. I don't want it to be Monday night. I like the weekend vibe style, but it might have to be Monday night. But I will let you know. Vikes, you're a legend. NWO News says, if he had a successful project with his friends, why would he leave Connecticut? It's because his friends hated him at that point. He had nothing left. That too, but I think really it was just to have to be an adult. So, I got to move away from everyone because now I'm an adult living on my own, honestly. I don't know. Who knows? Yeah, last week we heard about Quest Bar heists. It was very, very illuminating, very fun. All right, let's go. We got 30 minutes left on this one. Then I'm going to take a little break, and then that being said's up at 2:30 p.m. with special guest, and I'll leak it to you now, Mr. Ludacris in the house for today's That Being Said. Should be hype. Let's go.
For the ones that were brought in by Respect the Packs, a few prop guns they already had from other shoots. They were filmmakers, okay? They had this stuff. I financed anything that had to do with the marketing of the show and or merchandise. Me. That was me spending that money.
Better not.
I also financed a bunch of props that were never used.
Yes, that seems pretty stupid, doesn't it?
Right, because we had plans to make all these episodes. We had talked it out. This was a done thing. We liked doing the show. After 1 or 2 episodes, we liked doing the show. Everything was good.
Yeah, marketing, money on marketing. What? You telling in a different video in the pre-stream?
Right, and, so I started buying stuff for the show in advance, okay?
That Think Geek stuff was legendary. Can you say no to the stuff on Think Geek, honestly? Like, if I was 12... Oh, Think Geek was bought by GameStop. GameStop. Can't stop buying everything. Oh, it's all... Look, ThinkGeek.com. Gosh, I'm going to write ThinkGeek.com. Watch what happens. Boom! GameStop.com. Damn. GameStop buying everything. Anyways, yeah, so it used to be just shit. It was just shit you don't need. It was all cool, though. Like, if I had a credit card when I was, 13... When I was, 13... Oh, yeah, Wayback Machine's good. That's a good idea. If I was, 13 and had a credit card, it would have been dangerous. Because there's so much shit you think is cool. But it's not... you just don't need it, right? But, here, let's go. 2013 Think Geek. You're going to love it. Let's see the front page. Oh, Wayback Machine has many, many things. But I wouldn't have been... Yeah, so buy cool shit you need is definitely recommended. I'm saying, but I would have maxed out my credit cards like someone else should know. You know what I mean? I couldn't stop. So here we go. So it's all stuff like this. So here we go. So this is 2013 Think Geek. And we have things like Doctor Who Die-Cast Masters Pocket Watch, $50. Dragon Scale Bag of Holding, $60. That's cool, but I don't need it. Sonic Screwdriver Programmable TV Remote. Well, you got to get that. AppTag Smartphone Laser Tag, $60. I kind of want to buy that now. So it's all shit like this. That's definitely cool. That's definitely fucking cool, right? But Philip would buy everything on this website. And he would never stop. Instead of paying his employees, we're buying shit on this website. And that is factually fucking based. It's not a joke. $260 Star Wars keyboard with LCD touchpad. It's for people with money to burn. The Sword of Gandalf. You shall not click. What's the guess on the price on this? Ready? I'm going to click. You shall not click. I'm going to go with $199. $199.99. What's your guess? $800? 150, 100, 299. All right, here we go. I'm clicking it. Get your last guesses in. Ready, go! Son of a bitch! GameStop again! God damn it, I'll get the link. Don't worry. You can't fuck with me, GameStop! I'll avoid you for the rest of my life, GameStop. Fuck you! Where is it? I'll get the link. Manual style. We are fully derailed now. It's fine. This is a fun field trip. Oh, now it's not bringing up the product image. Okay, here we go. Copy the link. I don't want the image link. I want the real link. Oh, come on. There's not even a link here? Go here. Son of a bitch! All right, I'll find it. Don't worry. Flamdring. Gandalf sword. Think Geek. I will not give up. Fuck you, GameStop. Okay. Okay, got it. Got it. Found it. Legend. I said $199? Hell yeah! $189, boys! Only $189.99 on ThinkGeek.com. $10 off. That's a W. I'm taking it. Anyone else say $189? If I don't see $189, I win. Looks like I don't. I win. Hell yeah! This is not even Price is Right. So if you get it the closest, and you can go over. All right, anyways. Enough of Think Geek. Back to it.
Okay. So, first of all, let's talk profits and money on the videos. Okay? It's impossible to go back in time right now and see in 2012 how many views these videos had. I particularly remember the first video probably had around 100,000 views. The second video did way better than that. I believe it topped 200,000. The third video, we got fucked. YouTube had a bug, a glitch, that screwed everyone's video views up within about a 24 to 48 hour period.
Yeah.
And episode 3 went...
Yeah, exactly. Guilty pleasures. Anyone else with a brain gets cheap shit for Halloween costumes. It's when you're making internet meme videos. Right? You don't buy the actual authentic fucking swords and guns. All right, I bought Big Guy says in 2012 he was paid a flat rate per view. And yes, he said that many times actually. That's the fact of the matter.
Everyone's video views up within about a 24 to 48 hour period. And episode 3, when I uploaded it, had more likes, more comments, and more engagement on the video than the first 2 episodes fucking combined. But it claimed it only had like 51,000 views when it was sky high the most viewed video ever, like of the series. It didn't make any sense at all.
Okay.
Okay. We got screwed over royally on that, and I got paid based on views, not
no, we got screwed over royally, but actually it was only you, right?
ad revenue. So we got fucked in the butt on that episode. Okay.
Nice.
And then lastly,
somehow we bring up the butt. I thought we were going to avoid anything being shoved up a butt this episode, but we got there.
Was the 4th video, which was the final episode, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah, go ahead.
That year, when all was said and done, if you add all the views together for all the different videos, it was probably a couple million views, if that, maybe.
Yeah.
If that. Okay, maybe less. I can't tell you. I'm guesstimating. All right. So if you do the math, subtracting taxes and all of that, I can guesstimate that the Project 7 videos on YouTube made anywhere between 1,000 to maybe upwards of like, say, $2,000 of profit. If that, again, we're highballing it. Okay, well, let's highball it and say it was $2,000.
I'm freeballing it.
That those videos made total. Okay, fair enough. Nothing to shake a stick at. $2,000 is a lot of money, right? Okay, now.
That's extremely lowballing.
What did I spend on Project 7? Well,
let's talk about the things he didn't have to spend money on, right?
You could argue that every day that I worked on Project 7, pushed Project 7, I didn't make other content that I could have...
pushing Project 7 is a pre-stream. You're already making content that will get monetized, so that doesn't count. What's next?
Been making, right? I could have been making videos that were going to make tons of money.
What's next? Okay?
And I didn't. That I'm not even factoring in here. Forget that. Throw that away.
Thanks. Okay.
Strike that from the record. That's not even a consideration here. Okay? What did I actually spend money on?
So yeah, and he was making residual money from his other YouTube videos during that time, right? But okay, go ahead.
Right? I bought props.
Irrelevant. You didn't have to buy those. And you spent way more than you needed to on all of those. Go ahead.
In episode 3 of Project 7, you will actually see a large gun that's from Gears of War. That gun alone was around $300.
Okay. I think I have something for this.
You have done that yourself.
Okay, next.
Okay. I bought a ton of other props, like all the wardrobe and things that you see in that episode. I bought. It's all on all me. Bringing it in. That was
the wardrobe. The wardrobe. The wardrobe. The wardrobe. Okay. So at best, the wardrobe is gaseous snake. That looks like a hoodie. That's $300 well spent right there, boys. Oh my god. Oh my god. Now this is funny. Oh my god. It's Rambo. It's Rambo being funny. Oh my god. Hold on a second. Oh god. I didn't expect to see that again. Oh, Rambo. Oh, this is some legwork. Be there. This is pushing it out. This is legwork.
That was a couple $100 all in all. Episode 4, some of that, not all of it I bought, not all, some. Okay.
Some. Okay, yes, thank you.
I don't even know how much that was, quite frankly. I have no concept in my head. I don't remember anymore. What did I spend money on outside of the episodes? Phil, spent $900 on t-shirts. Me. Okay? Clear that up, because he's going to bring it up, and I'm going to clear it up. This is a bullshit story that he's telling. All right? Completely wrong the way he tells it. And I'm pissed off at it because these shirts have haunted me for ages.
Oh,
okay?
definitely.
I spent $900 on t-shirts.
Yes.
Project 7 t-shirts. The intention was we were going to travel to conventions and sell them.
$900 on t-shirts? What's that for? $900 of t-shirts? How many did you fucking buy? 900? Harleywood in the house says Phil looks so much like a thumb in Project 7. He really does. The thumb. Ready? No neck required. I'm here to shoot guns and have a neck. And I'm all out of neck.
Person as we premiered the episodes at conventions, and we were also going to sell them through John Rambo's website, which he was already selling other merchandise through to represent his podcast. Okay, so literally we weren't going to get any extra cost to sell these things. It was already going to happen naturally, but there was an investment. Back then there was no Teespring. There weren't these websites that make t-shirts.
That was wild. If you haven't seen that, I'll bring it up. I kind of want to end the episode here because I kind of want to stop next week or whenever we get to this again to kind of pick up on the t-shirts, kind of. Look at this. Okay, so at first, before we get to that, like if I could show this to 1 million people and say, "What is this?" No one would know. How many guesses would it take, right? How many guesses would it take you? It's
on the fly. You had to buy the t-shirts first, all right, in order to actually sell them. I spent $900 on those shirts myself. Before anyone else was involved investing money, I bought them. It was after the fact that Howard here got involved, and we'll talk about that in a minute because he's going to bring it up. All right? So now just do the math in your head.
Yeah,
$900 for t-shirts, $300 for the gun, a couple $100 for... Wait a minute. We're already like $1,500, all right?
have done that yourself.
Oh, by the way, I also invested in a ton of other props you guys have never fucking seen.
You have done that yourself.
Because we were supposed to keep doing this series. I bought a big-ass assault rifle from Mass Effect. A Mass Effect replica assault rifle.
Dude.
It lights up. It makes fucking noise. It was going to be excellent for the sci-fi episode we were going to do. We were going to do a whole episode based on sci-fi characters, parodies of Star Wars, parodies of Mass Effect was at its height of popularity back then, okay? I don't even want to tell you how much that one was. That was the most expensive thing I bought. And that was exclusively supposed to be for this series. What am I going to do?
Okay, what is it called? Mass Effect Replica Assault Rifle. I believe I looked for this before and couldn't find it. Mass Effect Assault Rifle. A replica, okay? So, let's see. Mass Effect. Yeah, I found one that normal people would use, right? So here's one normal people would buy. Is a $45 one, right? Now that's what normal people would use, but no, not Project 7, mama. We got to get that Project 7 money. So it's N7. Oh yeah, look at this. This website has all of them. You get them for each one is more than the next. Look at this. $500 minimum for all these. So who knows which one it was, but all these are $500. Every single one of them. Now, they look cool, but
play with a fucking gun. It's supposed to be for the show.
Yeah.
Okay? So, all these costs involved, all right? All of them. And you want me to be real about how much money Project 7 made, okay? Project 7 made anywhere between $1,000 to $2,000 in ad revenue profit from Machinima's payments to me.
According
and Project
to you.
7 made me a grand total of about negative $1,000.
Okay.
I lost money on Project 7.
because you spent over thousands of dollars on shit you did not have to spend money on. That's the key point he's trying to make you forget. And Big Guy made a good point earlier. Remember the T-shirts were the way they were going to make all their money? Remember that was the plan in the DVDs? Why did Philip spend all the money on the T-shirts? He hoping to split those profits? I doubt that.
It was a piss-away project for me. It was,
Piss
I want to
away.
do something creatively different. I want to do it with my friends. I feel like this will be something fun to do, and we'll all have a great time doing it. Hey, if we end up making money in the long term on it, great. That really wasn't the intention to begin with. There was supposed to be a fun project I do with my friends, and then if we find a way to monetize it in the long term, great. Apparently, these guys came into it with way different expectations, okay? However,
This is eBay, of course, so just ignore the... I think that's what he probably got, isn't it? M8 Avenger, only 500 made. Now, that's eBay price, so don't look at the price, but that's what? 1,000 back in the day? They only made 500 of them. What was it sold at? This is the official from BioWare, too, so he would definitely get this one. 500 pieces made worldwide. How much did it cost at release? I gotta know. At least $1,000. At least $1,000.
the key to this story is coming up in just a moment. Let me change the battery. The key to this story is coming up, and it reveals everything. And this is a telling factor in this video that if you don't have a frame of reference, you won't get it. But I'm about to reveal it. So let me go swap the battery quickly.
Jeez.
You know, keep in mind, other things I didn't talk about is the conventions. We went to 2 separate conventions that I got us into to advertise Project 7. I paid for their hotel rooms and shit for that. You know, I mean, I could keep going on and on and on about this. The money factor of their video is so ludicrous and stupid because it's so fake. You want to talk about Phil spoke out of turn and said fucked up things on the internet about us? Great. You want to say money was a factor? You're out of your fucking mind. It just never was. I was the one always spending and always doing everything, and these guys were looking to make like a fortune, I guess, on this shit or something.
That's not true. They wanted more than 0. Just wanting more than 0 doesn't mean you want a fortune, in my opinion. But yes, they wanted a fortune.
And always doing everything, and these guys were looking to make like a fortune. I was the one always spending and always doing everything, and
I was the one spending and always doing everything.
These guys were looking to make like a fortune, I guess, on this shit or something. I don't know. But again, I'm telling you from my perspective, this was never an issue. It was never brought up. It was never addressed. It was never yelled. No one ever got in my face about any of this. Everything was fine. They kept showing up. They kept doing co-op with me. They kept doing all this stuff. Why would you do that if you're mad at someone because you think they owe you money, right? It doesn't make any sense at all. Anyway.
You said this was the end of this project, though, so they did stop doing stuff with you after this problem. Okay, I found it. Release date was March 28th, 2012, which perfectly lines up, lines up with our situation. This is from March 28th, 2012, $600. $700 on MSRP, though. There we go. Anyone want this? Anyone looking for this? You might use it in a future... You might use it in a future Project 7 video. You might. You might not, too, but you might. Now it costs $2,000 on eBay, though. Someone said he sold it. Said that. Make sure I find you. Someone said they sold it, though. He did. That was one of the things he did sell, so...
Let's continue because we're getting to the meat of the matter right now. Let me swap back over.
Get back to the meat of the matter.
We're almost done with Project 7, thankfully. Let's continue.
There's no conversation.
Right.
So and then what everyone has to realize is this is like a whole bunch of things that has happened in the past that just irritates people. Because now what ends up happening is like, do you value money more than our friendship?
Oh.
Because if that's the case, then why am I even here?
Right.
You know?
What is he talking about?
The fact that you didn't pay them even a cent for Project 7? I think it's pretty simple.
What, do you value money more than our friendship? I wasn't making money on Project 7, and I also paid your way to go to conventions and shit. Like, what are you talking about?
I think they're talking about the hundreds, if not thousands of dollars you spent on props and shit instead of paying Respect the Pack or either of these gentlemen.
Again, he's like, oh, well, on top of all of that, there also should have been more money coming our way. Like, what the fuck is he talking about?
No. He means any money. Philip keeps saying more money when actually just means any at all, right? Okay, let's go ahead.
Like, when did I ever pick money over friendship? Ever. And by the way, it's funny because there's parts coming up here where they're going to say, oh, well, you know, I needed money, and then Phil gave me money. So here we go.
So let me ask you, did you get anything out of the Project 7?
First of all, we're going to talk about that. I didn't get shit out of Project 7.
So no one got paid. Now here's the thing. I got paid.
John got paid.
I got my percentage.
Okay.
Yeah.
There was at that time period, there was a point where my car had broken down, and I needed to get. Actually, I got a used car. I bought another car at that time. So I go, Phil, listen, I'm not coming to your house because I have no car.
So the only reason that John got his Project 7 money is because Philip lost his co-op partner if he didn't get any money. So Philip decided to say, okay, well, I will pay you, and then not pay anyone else. How is that fair? You paid John for his work, but not anyone else? And you only did that just because he lost his co-op partner.
If you want me to come, throw me my percentage from the Project 7, and I'll use that cash towards a new car. And so I got my money. But there's, 3 other people, you guys, that got zero.
And only because he asked, by the way.
John Rambo did not get paid for Project 7. This is a lie. However, it's my fault. Because I was trying to be a nice guy and a good friend. So, during the whole time we're doing Project 7, John comes to me one week. Well, doesn't come to me one week. He calls me one week and he says, I got bad news. He goes, my car broke down. And I don't have any money to fix it. I need a new car, essentially.
Nice.
I don't know if it was he needed a new car or he just needed money to fix it. I don't even remember what it was. Okay,
so John just told us his car broke down, but you can not know what happened. Go ahead.
But essentially, he came to me and said, listen, I need help right now. I need money. And I don't like asking for money, and I know we didn't talk about getting paid for Project 7.
Okay, yeah, this
but
part definitely happened.
Could you give me the money that maybe if we were to break it down, what we made on views? And I'm hearing him. All I'm hearing is he needs help. I don't even care his justification. My friend needs help. He knows I have money. He fucking knows I make big money, making videos on YouTube.
Yeah.
And my friend needs.
So he wants his money for Project 7.
Help. He doesn't want to ask for help because he feels like that would be wrong to do. So he's justifying it by saying, all right, I need help, but can you pay it as like a percentage of the profits of Project 7?
Yeah.
I didn't have the heart to tell John Rambo that Project 7 lost me money.
Because you bought thousands of dollars worth of props you didn't use. Go ahead.
I was going to say, I can't pay you, John, because Project 7 lost me money. I made lost money on this project, so there's nothing to give you. Sorry, you have no car now. No. Here's what I did. I said, okay, John, I'll do that for you. And I pretended to make calculations that didn't exist. And then I sent him the money he wanted. I don't even remember how much it was. I know it wasn't a lot. It was probably, hundreds of dollars. I don't know. I don't remember.
Not a lot, boys. Hundreds of dollars is not a lot.
I don't remember these things. I just sent him money because I wanted to help my friend.
Okay.
It had nothing to do with the profits of Project 7 at all. That's how he spun it, but he didn't know that there were no profits.
That's how he spun it. That was literally his reality. Assuming this is true, which, again, is tough. Assuming this is true, that is the only world that Rambo knows is where that's the actual truth. He's not spinning anything. And if that was the case, it's not a lot of money, as Philip said, even though it was hundreds. Why wouldn't you just give everyone that much, right? Let's just give everyone that much to keep everyone happy, keep the series going. But unfortunately, we can't do that. Yes, we do remember the exact emails from Respect the Pack, but we do not remember how much we gave John Rambo at all.
7 at all. That's how he spun it, but he didn't know that there were no profits. And I was lying to him, basically saying, here's your cut. There was no cut.
Okay,
all
so
right?
he's lying.
So, again, I did something where I felt I was helping my friend. I'm doing the right thing here, right? I don't want to tell him there's no money in this project and that it's basically a friend project. That's it. I'm going to help him out. Years later, this is his evidence.
Yeah?
To say that I was, why did I pay him and not others? Like, this is a bad thing that I did. Yeah. I helped out my friend.
So you can see why lying is not a good idea, huh?
I get crucified for it years later.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this whole Project 7 thing was nothing but fucking trouble for me.
If you were just...
For what? I just wanted to have fun with my friends.
If you were just honest, this wouldn't have happened, though.
We were going to do a fun project together. And all I get is get, attacked for it. It's excruciatingly exhausting. Because this is... You guys got to understand something. Maybe for some of you, this is the first time you're hearing it. This is something that I went through for years. And we're going to get to the shirts now.
Lying or...
Oh, my God. We're going to talk about the T-shirts. Okay? The fucking T-shirts. Favma says, why not tell him the truth? Because
I always lie.
Was the
Why
kind
start
of person
now?
He wouldn't have taken the money then. I would have said, I lost money on the project. I don't, and he would have said, well then, all right, I'm sorry I called you.
All right, well, how about the money you spent on the guns you never even used in the series? Why don't we start with that?
He wouldn't have taken it. I wanted him to get a new car or fix his car, whatever it was. I don't want to fucking have the guy with no ride. That's fucked up. Not only is he doing work for me for co-op, he has a job, he has a life outside of that. He needs to go to it. His car probably broke down because of me. You understand that? He's driving his car from New York to Connecticut and back once a week to do co-op with me. It's probably why his car's busted.
Why don't you just
feel
be
kind of
honest?
Responsible for that? I want to help my friend.
He would think even more better of you if you told the truth again, but all right.
Okay. Let's get to the shirts. Let's get this out of.
Let's stop right there, my friends. Big ups to Mr. Extravagant, who says, bring back Identity Scrolls. I enjoy it. We will. Someday there'll be return episodes every once in a while. I did one not 2 months ago or something, but they'll be back. In the summer, I'll make sure to have at least one, all right? Nerd Brew in the house says, would you rather sit through an AVGN movie or Project 7? AVGN movie. That's tough, though. Kick-Assia is my number one. I was going to go for meme internet movies, though. Because that has some legitimate laughs. There is a lot of cringe, but there is some legitimate laughs in Kick-Assia. The bullets are going through the halls! Anyway. Johnny Teef in the house says, Howard, real Italian, Gugats. Yeah, we got to get a Gugats uppercase ending on a name and Kick. Big up, Shiny Teef. Wesley H in the house says, I lied to my friend that the show made a profit, and he was wrong for believing me after I gave him money and no one else. The price of lies. And that is correct. Big ups, Wesley H. Big ups, everybody, for chilling. I will redirect you to That Being Said, which starts in 32 minutes after this moment, okay? I'll give you the link in chat. I will play the outro song, the original, and we'll see you over there, all right? You're all legends. See you soon. Bye.